Hello everyone, and welcome to our Premier League match preview show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for today's show. We've got arguably the biggest game of the season against our rivals, Manchester United, this weekend. Of course, Liverpool are flying high at the top of the table, whereas our counterpart are edging closer towards the relegation zone. Never thought I'd say that on a live show, but I'm all for it. I'm enjoying the demise of Manchester United, and long may it continue. So it's only right that I invite a guest to the channel, but it's not just anyone, it's someone that I have huge respect for, and he's producing some great Liverpool content on his channel. He goes by the name of Jamie Phillips. Jamie, firstly, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
You're too kind, man. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah, we've been trying to do something for a while now, haven't we? So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm looking forward to it.
So my pleasure to have you on the show. We'll do our traditional match preview content as always, but there's a lot to discuss in terms of off the field topics. Um, as it's been rumbling the airwaves, and there's a certain contract situation involving Trent Alexander-Arnold that's been, splitting opinions, I would say, online. So we'll start with the Trent rumor as it's making the most noise in the last 48 hours. According to rumors, Real Madrid placed an offer of around 20 odd million pounds, which was rebuffed by Liverpool, and apparently a second bid is incoming. If you believe the rumors. Now, I'm sure you've seen it online, Jamie, in terms of the fan reaction. Some have kind of lost their marbles about the whole rumor, um, even though it's not really from a concrete source. I know it's from Marca, who are the probably the mainstream Spanish outlet, but they are also a PR machine for the teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona. So you got to take everything with a pinch of salt. I personally don't agree with a lot of the opinion that's been said about Trent online. There's always someone bringing up his brothers, 'cause I think they're his agents as well, so they're part of the
Mm.
negotiations regarding his contracts. Uh, so I'd like to get your take on the whole contractual situation with Trent. What do you think of the latest speculation? Um, and do you believe that he has his eyes set on a move to Real Madrid?
Oh man, it's been going on so long now. I the more I said today on my show, and I even put out today on Twitter that Trent stays, and people think I'm some kind of source or something. Everyone's coming at me, but it's just my opinion. Um, I just feel like he will stay at Liverpool now. I just feel it that he will stay. I look at what I look at the contract situation. I feel it's not his fault. He's got a year left. That's not his problem. It's not Salah's problem. It's not anyone's problem. He's got a year left on the deal, unless they've asked for that sort of thing. But they want to stay at the football club. Now they want a deal that suits their abilities and their worth, and that's up to Liverpool to give to them. With Real Madrid, you can understand if a team like Real Madrid coming in for you and look at it, and they're desperate for him. We know this for a fact now. Real Madrid do want Trent. Trent might be a heart. Everything's Liverpool to him. The people, the city, the team. He's been there since he was 6. It's his club, his people. But it is very hard to reject Real Madrid, no matter who you are. I know Stevie done it twice, but Trent might be a little bit different for Trent because he's won that Premier League, he's won Champions League, he's won everything Stevie did. He might feel like he can move on. But the more I hear now, and now I'm hearing Real Madrid sources saying they believe now Trent's going to stay. It just got like they just totally flipped on themselves. I do believe Trent's people told Real Madrid to bid for him. I think they only do that if they get the acknowledgement of Trent's people. That doesn't mean Trent said it himself. That's just the people around him who's working for him. And I don't blame Trent for batting two clubs off each other to get the best for him. It's what you do. If you're in a business and you're coming down in your contract in a business and you're being headhunted from another company, but you want to stay at that company, you listen to offers just so you can get the best offer for yourself. So I don't blame Trent for doing what he's doing, but yeah, I personally think he stays, mate. I think he stays. The longer it's going on, I think it'll be done this month now. I don't think they can hang about because there's already been a bid, and they don't want that to carry on because you know what Madrid are like. Even if Trent does want to stay, and they just keep pestering him. And I look at his brother. Look, his brother's his age. I think it's Tyler.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's got to do what he's still an agent, even if he's brother, but he still wants the best for himself. It would make more sense for his brother to go to Madrid because he'd get paid better as an agent. So he's just doing what agents do anyway. But yeah, for me, it stays, mate. For me, it stays.
Yeah, I think the reaction based on his brother doing the deals was a little bit over the top. I've seen people say all sorts of names regarding brother, which I don't think is the right thing to do, especially when we don't know what's actually happened behind the scenes in terms of contract talks. But I do believe that last summer, I think Trent did have his eyes set on a Real Madrid move due to the fact that Klopp left. So I thought maybe he thought, you know what, this might be the right time for me to move on, give one more year to the club, and then venture into something different. You know, his best mate Jude Bellingham's there, so maybe discover a different league, a different culture, and just go somewhere where he can maybe improve as a player, I guess, but also experience something altogether. Because, like you said, Steven Gerrard rejected Real Madrid twice in his career, but he hadn't won the Premier League title. Trent has pretty much won everything, so it's very difficult for someone at his age to stay at a club where maybe his ambitions are a little bit higher now as an individual. Maybe he feels like he can achieve more success elsewhere. Obviously, that would be a big debate in terms of his legacy. The way, if he does decide to leave the club, how does he leave? I feel like since Arne Slot has come in, it's probably taken a back step and he's thinking, do you know what, this clutch might should be really, really good. Because I don't feel like he expected Arne Slot to be the level that he is right now. And I think because of that, I think his mind has changed as the months have gone on. And I feel like that's why it's very unclear in terms of what his stance is. Because a lot of fans are thinking because Trent is so silent, he's ready to go Real Madrid. And I feel like sometimes silence can be a good thing. Like, for example, Virgil hasn't really said much about his contract situation. When he's ever asked by the media, he said, look, there's discussions behind the scene. I'll let you know when I'm ready. So it just depends on how the fans see it. But I think because Trent is a local boy, fans are taking a bit to heart a bit more. They're like, oh, he's one of our own. How could he betray us? And then you're getting comparisons to Steve McManaman and Mike Clone and all those players that end up leaving to go there. And then you're also getting comparison players like Coutinho, who left and went on to Spain, and look how their career ended up going. So I I think in the beginning of the season, I thought he would be the one player that might leave. But as the season's gone on, I've watched his interviews. He had one with Sky Sports as well. I feel like he's ready to commit to the club, but it just depends on FSG in terms of what they're offering. Because I think the current rumor is that they've only offered him around 200k a week in terms of his salary, which is only I think 20 or 30 odd million. I'm sorry, thousand on top of what he's currently earning. So I feel like until we don't get any confirmation, we can't really have a strong opinion. Because I know fans are losing the plot where they're saying, oh, calling all sorts of abuse and all that sort of stuff. I feel like it's too premature to say that kind of stuff. We literally have to sit down and wait and see what happens, because right now we can't say anything because we're not giving that energy towards Salah and Van Dijk, because they haven't signed contract extensions. So they're all on the same boat. So I feel like as fans, look, I'm not going to tell anyone how to react to certain news, but these are all rumors. These are all coming from media outlets. No one's, a strong source or anything like that. Even if it's Paul Joyce or David Ornstein, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. So for me, it's been, yeah, I'm sure you're fed up of talking about Trent as well, but it's been a topic where I feel like until we don't get official say, we just have to wait and see. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's the difficulty in all this because it's all kept so quiet. And you are
Yeah,
right with the Trent stuff. I mean, Trent has a more of an emotional attachment to fans and the club than Salah and Virgil will do because they were brought in. Trent's one of our own, so
yeah,
there's always going to be more emotional. You know, players come and go. Usually, players come and go their whole career. Don't matter how good the players are. Cristiano Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or at Man United. He still wanted to go to Real Madrid. That move still happened a year later. They got
yeah,
good money for him. Players come and go. So if Salah and that left, they left, but because Trent's one of our own, he's been through the team through thick and thin. These are his people. This is his city and all that sort of stuff. I think he's getting more of the abuse because of that. But I said it on my show earlier that, you know, I love all three players. I don't know, it might be because I'm a bit older, but I do have more of an attachment towards Mo and Virgil as players. But, you know, they've come out and said they love the club. Like Virgil's, I think before the West Ham game today, he said, I love this club. And they love me, you know. And then Salah's come out and pretty much said, like, if I got the right contract, I'd sign it now, right in front of everybody. So they do love the club, but at the same time, they're saying they love the club, but still haven't signed. Trent hasn't said anything, and he's the number one enemy at the moment. So it is because he is that boyhood guy, and we're like, hey, can you turn your back on us? I think it's what's irked people more is since New Year's Day when New Year's Eve, since Madrid made that transfer approach for him. I think that's irked people now because it's the only reason they do that. If one of his team spoke to Madrid and say, do it, they knew Liverpool would reject it because it's all part of the PR. And I think that's irked people now. But again, this is not on Trent. It really ain't. It's on the football club. And Trent's playing the market like, for me, all players should do.
I feel like people need to just, with regards to footballers, they are human beings at the end of the day. So this is their job. So you can't just think that, oh, because he's a Liverpool fan or he's a boyhood Liverpool fan, that he should just accept whatever terms are presented to him. Right now, we all say he's the best right back, don't we? We all believe he's the best right back in the world. So if you have that notion, then you have to give him what he's worth. And from what I recall hearing is that Reece James is earning a lot more than Trent, and he's, you know, in the casualty line all the time. So he's not really even playing on the pitch right now. So
I think
for
that's
me,
what Trent will get.
yeah. So I feel like Trent deserves whatever he's pretty much requesting for, and I do believe that he's a player that is very ambitious, and he's said it quite a few times in interviews that he wants to continue to win plenty of trophies. And you know, he might have won the Premier League with us, and hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, we win it this year as well. But there's no guarantee to suggest that he will go on to win other league titles at the club. So he needs to know that the club as a unit is ambitious when it comes to signings. Because right now, you know, we will talk about transfers shortly, but we've got a sporting director who hasn't really done much. We've got FSU who people believe that haven't invested enough in the squad. So I think for Trent, he's probably taking all this information in, and then he'll decide what that decision is. I don't think he'll make a decision this month, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like he'll wait closer to the end of the season, or it will be announced at that stage, because it would be unbelievable if it was announced that, you know, he's signed a pre-contract somewhere else, because I feel like that would derail our season, the way things are going on right now. So for me, I feel like as fans, we just have to be a little bit patient when it comes to these sort of transfer news and rumors and speculations. Until we don't get any concrete news, we can't really say too much. We've got to take it with a pinch of salt, in my opinion.
Look, I agree with that. And with the pre-contract stuff, I know a lot of people are going mad about this pre-contract stuff. I don't believe any three of them players will sign pre-contract agreements because they're trying to win a Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, look, Mo is desperate to win everything. You know, Mo wants to win every single trophy, and he might want to leave that before he leaves. You know, but he's decided that's my goal. Virgil's goal is to do that. So while we're in this position, I look at the mentality of the players. I don't think any of them three will sign pre-contract agreements, and I think that's why the club are quite comfortable with the situation right now. We're not comfortable because we're fans. You know, we're on the edge of our seat. Just tell us something. You know, you look at Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. They're like the coolest. They don't like. They're either super cold androids, or you know, they just feel like they don't believe. If they don't believe they're going to sign pre-contracts anywhere, they're cool with the situation, and it can go till the end of the season, which it very well could do. Actually, it very well could do. The only one is Trent, because he could be seduced by Real Madrid. You know, they won't stop. We know what Madrid are like. They upset the apple cart usually till they get their players. So maybe he could be seduced into doing it, but I don't believe they will. And I think all three will sign. And I think people will be shocked, but I do think all three will sign. Look, contract wise, before we move off topic, it's like it's been difficult for the club, like the new brigade this season, because they came into the shit show, didn't they? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
And if I'm the players' agents in the winter, last winter, you would go, don't sign any new contracts. You don't know who your manager is going to be. You know, Klopp's leaving. I think it's probably impossible to get anyone to sign then. You come to the summer, you get Arne Slot in charge. Bit of an unknown, but, you know, players will probably go, you know what, I'm not sure yet. Let me see how this goes. And now we're in January, and I think they can tell how this is going and the way Slot is as a coach, and they seem to absolutely love him. I think you got more chance of the contracts being sorted from now till the end of the season than you had at any time since everyone's been here. So, yeah, I think it'll get done. I just think if it's the end of the season, it's the end of the season. You know, if they all sign their contracts while we lift up a Premier League trophy, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think fans is getting itchy right now because it's January, and we all know that pre-contract agreements can be signed. I also feel like with Real Madrid, even if they've taken a little bit of inkling from Trent's camp that, you know, he's interested in a move, they're desperate right now. They don't have any right backs in their team. They're making Vasquez, who's normally a right winger, into a makeshift right back. They've played Valverde there as well. So they are desperate. And in world football, there's not really anyone that's out there that they could sign to be a good sort of replacement or long-term replacement for Carvajal. I think they were linked with Dalot, but I don't think Dalot's to that level anyway. So he's not. He's not in that.
I think Madrid will end up with Pedro Porro. I think that's who Madrid will end up with right back. Who I think in Spain he would actually be really good for Real Madrid.
I think he'd do really well there too. I think he'd be a great fit. Yeah. So that's probably the target that they're going for. But with Trent being, you know, a unicorn when it comes to a right back, he is a generational talent, as we all say. So they're going to try their best to get him now or in the summer window. Obviously, you know, they love a free transfer, so that's what they're trying to aim at. But I feel like as the time has gone on this season, I haven't felt nervous, so I'm not sure why sections of our fan base have. But I do feel like from interviews that I've seen of Trent and from what he's said in the media, I feel like he wants to stay. But if he doesn't stay, I think it will probably come down to what was offered on the table in terms of the contract extension. It might not have been the terms that he wanted or whatnot. Because I've seen things today where they're offering, well, they're according to rumors, Real Madrid are willing to offer 100 million sign-on fee. So
Pay that, man.
Which is ludicrous, right?
Because if they do that, it'd have to be around. I read that as well. They're saying like if they sign Trent for free, it'd be 100 million sign-on fee, which means I think Mo Chatter put it out on his Twitter that if they do that, then it's got to be close to 600 grand a week, and they're not because it's a free transfer. So they're not. That's not happening. Yeah, I know Madrid are wealthy because they're backed by, but there's only a limit of how much they can keep going. Is why Real Madrid want the Super League to earn more money financially than the Premier League teams do. They can't, 600 grand for a right back. It's going to leave them short. They need a centre back still. You know, they're looking at William Saliba in the future, stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think these reports are true. With Trent at Liverpool, I don't think he wants. I know the rumours are he wants Mo Salah money. I don't think Trent's that silly. You know, I think we are underplaying Trent a little bit. I think Trent is probably looking at his nearest rival in the country, and that's Reece James, and he's on 250 grand a week. Trent is the second highest paid right back in the league on 180 grand a week. I think Kyle Walker's on 175, and then Reece James on 250. I think Liverpool will match. I think Trent will end up getting 250 a week, 260 a week, and a 4-year deal. Personally,
no, I think that's justified because you know, like you mentioned as an example, where when you're in the job market, you do analyze, you know, what a person of your position is earning as well. So if he's seen Reece James earning a certain amount, and let's be honest, we all believe he's better than him, right? So he should be earning within that sort of bracket. So I hope that is the case. let's see. In terms of what happens with Trent, only time will tell. But as fans, I, I I suggest we just calm it down a little bit and not get too sort of reactionary with sort of things, especially from sources that aren't reliable, in my opinion. So, with regards to Van Dijk and Salah, are you quite confident that they'll sign contracts as well?
Yeah, I think they'll sign 2-year deals. The club are very. What I will say about the club, they are very good at getting what they want
Mm,
more than players want. I think the only time I've really backed down is for Mo when they broke their wage structure for Mo. But
yeah,
they pretty much gave Mane's money over on top of what Mo was already
yeah,
making. So they broke their structure for Mo. I think they will break their structure for certain players who they feel is worth it. At the time, they felt Mo was worth it. I think Virgil will get an increase, and I think Mo will get a little bit of increase. I think Mo will get a 400 grand 2-year deal, and I think Virgil will be around that 280 mark and a 2-year deal. They both. So the hold up I'm hearing is the hold up in Salah and Virgil's deal is they want 4 years. But apparently,
okay,
what Paul Joyce I think tweeted out the other day is that Richard Hughes and he made a point of this, and Arne Slot want 2-year deals for him. And I was thinking, Arne Slot's not really. He's a head coach. He's not involved like that. But even as a head coach, they will talk to him, and he's probably thinking, look, I'm going to be here for the long term as a Liverpool manager. In 4 years' time, Virgil is going to be like 37 or something. Is he still going to be viable for me? Am I going to have a problem with that? Mo in 4 years' time is going to be what, 36?
yeah,
Is he going to be viable for me in that time? But in the next 2 years, I don't see any problem with their ability or, there's still going to be an uptick there for 2 years, even 34 and 33 or whatever it is. And I think that's why they're happy with 2 years. I think eventually they'll sign 2-year deals, and with form, injuries, and all that thing, I think they get then a year increase
yeah.
added on after that too. But I think that's what'll happen. I think they'll both get 2-year deals and sign them.
I think that's a fair deal. Because from a sort of financial point of view, it'd be not crazy is not the word, but a 4-year deal for a player of that age, it's quite a big deal, and there's no guarantee that they will continue that form as they get older. And in terms of fitness and stuff, there's no guarantee that they'll be, you know, as available as they have been over the years. So a 2-year with an option of a third, I think is fair in terms of all parties. So yeah, let's pray that these things happen. But yeah, until then, we'll just have to wait and see. I know it's January, and fans are getting a bit impatient about these sort of announcements, but these aren't, deals that get done overnight, especially with someone like Mohamed Salah, who has so much commercial rights in terms of his branding and his image rights across the world. These deals, they do take a bit of time. So it's not just, agreeing a salary, it's a lot more to it. So
Yeah, I think people think you go in a coffee shop and get it all done, don't you? It's not that, as you say,
yeah,
with certain players, the commercial revenue Mo would probably want to be
yeah,
like. You have to work all that out of other people and other agencies and all that as well, don't you? So it's
yeah.
not that easy. But they'll get
No,
done, in my opinion. All three are signed and we'll be all happy.
I hope you're right, Jamie. I hope you're right. Now, in terms of it being January now, obviously the window's open and the rumors have started circulating. But in this particular situation regarding Liverpool, there's rumors surrounding Darwin Núñez with a move away from the club. The latest rumor is that AC Milan are showing interest and they're ready to offer a loan move with an obligation to buy the player in the summer for around 45 million. Now, today it appears that Darwin Núñez has been liking post on Instagram, which presented him, wearing a AC Milan shirt online. So I'd like to ask you, Jamie, what have you made of Darwin's social media activity? And if this offer was genuine, would you accept it?
Oh, yeah. But before we get to that, I weren't made aware of this actually till I was live. While I was live, people in the live chat earlier today were telling me about this situation where he liked it. And I was thinking, oh, if that's the case, then that's not a good look. But then I was thinking about it. When you like something on social media, people don't know what you're thinking about when you like that sort of thing. So he could have seen it and go, "Oh, I look all right in that AC Milan shirt. Like it looks nice to me," and just liked it, not thinking anything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It could be as simple as that, or he could be thinking, "You know what? I'm going to make I'm going to make people think these rumours are true and like it, and just play a bit of like, because Darwin's a bit mental, ain't he? You know, so he could be doing that. Look, I love Darwin as a person, as a character. You know, as a family man, he seems like a decent geezer. He works hard, but it's our third season now, and it's now under two different managers, and I think we can all agree it's still not working. It's not. And I would look, my whole thing on Darwin is, I know people like to protect Darwin, I get it. I don't quite understand the ultimate protection he gets over other players in our team, which is kind of crazy to me. But he was bought for up to £85 million, which is almost 100 million euros. You don't buy a player like that just to be a squad player. He's meant to be your guy. He's meant to be the guy. He's meant to be the guy. And the fact of the matter is, Cody Gakpo and Diogo Jota games per minute still outscore him.
Yeah.
And yes, he can get I mean, his assists last season, everyone goes on about the 30 GA he got last season. Still got only 11 Premier League goals, less than Chris Wood. You know, less than what's the geezer at Palace's name as well, who even Palace fans don't like. Mateta, yeah. And Palace fans don't even like him. And all of his assists were like 3-yard passes to Salah. You know, it's... I like the guy. I just don't think, for the money we paid for him, it's not working in that sense that he's not the man. And I don't think he's ever going to be the man. And I think he needs to go somewhere to be the man. At Benfica for that year, before we bought him, he was the guy.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's other very good players in that squad, but he was the guy. And that's why he was doing what he was doing. And that was his only good season goals-wise, though, if you go through his career so far. So we bought him pretty much off a freak season, if you look at his stats since he's been playing professional football. And it's not quite worked. Now, the problem is you put a lot of money into Darwin Núñez. You still got money to pay Benfica. You know, we win the Premier League, I believe, this year, or the Champions League. We've got to pay Benfica more money. It's part of the clause.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool go look at it and think, if they can get good money for him, I think they will let him go next summer, because he's 25. He's not really going that way in his development quick enough for Liverpool to say we'll keep him and keep him going. Yeah. I think Jota is a far better footballer and a better goal scorer. Jota's problem is it's his health and his fitness, so you can't rely on them. For me, I let them both go. I'd let both nines go and buy a brand new 9. The problem is we don't know what kind of 9 that Arne Slot likes yet.
That's very true.
This is our best number 9 for me at the moment is Luis Diaz. And I've been saying this for time. And I honestly believe the way we play is our best number 9. But if Darwin was that lone fee, if it's true, I've seen it quite a few times in the last week or so as well from different Italian reporters. I think he'd do well in Italy. The way the Italian game is more of a, you know, sit back, counter attack style, defend deep, slower build up, you know, and then when they get to the final point, it's bang. And I think that would suit his game. I think he scores goals in Italy. I really do. I've always said this. And I think he needs to move. I think he needs to move. I think the club lets him need them. I think it'd be good for everybody. Because I don't think he's going to do it in his 4th year. He's got 2 Premier League goals this season. It's just not. He's got less than Jota, and Jota's hardly played.
Yes.
Crazy.
I don't understand the obsession in terms of, you know, the Núñez army, or however you want to phrase it, because yes, we all like him as a character. He's a fiery character. We like passionate players. We all do. Whenever a striker, you know, tackles, like that's not what a striker's supposed to do. So it kind of spurs the crowd on a little bit. So I feel like he's become a bit of a cult hero over the years. But let's get down to business. In terms of what he's, you know, produced on the pitch, it isn't good enough. And for me, in his opening season, you could see there were a lot of rawness in terms of his playing ability, in terms of his finishing. He was very erratic in front of goal, no real composure. When he's one-on-one, he's literally just smashing it. He's not placing in the bottom corner or crossing the ball at all. So you're thinking, with experience, with playing with the likes of Mohamed Salah and these players in the squad, he would have, you know, upped his game a little bit or refined it in some sort of level. He hasn't. He's the same type of finisher that he was when he walked into the club. So for me, just because I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool, I'm not saying he's not a good enough player for any other team in Europe. I totally agree with you. I think he's better suited for a league like Serie A. I think he'd do well at La Liga as well. But Serie A would really suit his game in terms of the way you mentioned it because the build is very slow there, but they love to play on the counter attack, and I feel like that would suit his sort of chaotic way of play where he's on the shoulder and then he can go through and then score the goals. Whereas at Liverpool, we're a team that build up the play, especially on the onslaught. We're a high possession football team now, so it's not about just pinging through ball all the time. We're building up the play in the final third and trying to score the perfect goals almost at times. So I do feel like in terms of all parties, it's the right time for Darwin Núñez to move on. And that will be done in this window. I think it will be a summer move. Um, it'll be interesting to see who the person is that comes in to replace him because I'm not too sure what the profile of striker is. I probably would have said someone like Isak, who I really like personally,
Mm,
but I don't know if he's an Arnold Slot striker because
mm. Got Salah
that
there, ain't you?
striker, yeah, that striker doesn't really. And Diaz is kind of, I know you said you mentioned it for quite a while, but Diaz has literally been sensational in that central role.
Mm.
Since the Bayer Leverkusen game, I feel like he's ahead of Nunes in the pecking order. Jota's, of course, ahead of him, but like you said, Jota's problem is that he's unavailable all the time. So you've got two players already ahead of him. I would even say Chiesa, but Chiesa is just as worse as Jota. I feel like Chiesa could play that central as well. So for me, in terms of the pecking order, Darwin Núñez is dropping down. And like you said, we spent 80 million on a player, which is 100 million euros. That's not good enough. I can't have a player of that value on the bench. We're not Man City. We don't have that luxury of spending that kind of big fee on players and have them as squad players. So I think it would be a natural decision for Darwin Núñez and the club to part ways in the summer. Look, it gets our blessing. Don't get me. I'm not here to dish any sort of, saying he's rubbish. I've never been that sort of fan anyway. But I just don't feel like for what we're trying to achieve, I just don't feel like he's the man to lead us in terms of future success. Look what
No.
we're doing right now. We're competing for the league, the Champions League. We're in all competitions. That's where we aim to be at every season. So this season he's hardly started and he's out for, you mentioned 2 goals. That's poor. You've
Mhm.
got defenders that are scoring more goals than Darwin Núñez, and I just don't think it's acceptable. So
I think Jota's got that back since he's come back from injury. So
yes,
look, like I think he's never. I don't know if he's outscored Cody at the time. Like when Cody, I think if you count the minutes per game, Cody and Núñez plays, I think Cody scores more goals.
more goals,
And
yeah.
and for me, Diaz is a better finisher. And it all comes down to finishing. It comes down to that confidence in front of goal. He smashes everything. It don't matter if
Everything.
it's 3 yards out, 6 yards out, 20 yards out.
Yeah,
Every ball is hit the same. I can't remember the game. When he was put through 1-on-1? It was only a few weeks ago. I
yeah,
think he already scored in the game. He had a good goal, to be fair. And he's clean through.
yeah.
And he just smashed it. He's gone 20 yards over the bar. Like, there's no... He's got a way of hitting the ball which seems to be the same. But then I watched back at him. I don't know if you've seen it. I've gone back and watched his Benfica goals
Yeah.
the year before we bought him, and he's placing things in corners, little dinks, little chips.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, and he's putting he's putting finesse on his shots. I'm like, where's that Darwin gone? Like, literally, was he just in feeling himself that year and in his patch and
Yeah.
feeling confident? As the confidence just absolutely gone from him now, and it's going to be very hard to find it back because that's how it seems to me.
Yeah, I think the Premier League. I know he's a chaotic player in terms of what he brings to the pitch, but I think the Premier League is too quick for him because of the way the league is played in terms of the intensity. I don't feel like he can keep up from a technical point of view because there'll be times where he's holding up the ball, but then he's lost it because his awareness isn't great, like his tactical awareness. So where we should be, laying it off first time, he's holding onto the ball and delaying the pass. So these are areas where I don't feel like he's improved. I'd say in the last year he has improved on it a little bit, but the level that we're trying to achieve, it's at a very slow rate. So we'll see. Would you accept that offer if that was genuine from AC Milan, or do you think 45 million is quite low?
No, I mean, for a striker who don't get a lot of goals, ain't a bad price, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking a hit, you're taking 50% hit on what you paid for him, but I think you're going to have to take a hit in a way.
Yes, you have to.
I always said that I've just got a feeling, I don't think we'll do anything this January. I feel like something will happen this summer. I don't think the guy's set. I've got a feeling he goes on loan next summer and he gets sold the year after. I don't know if he gets sold straight away. I think Liverpool want to try and make some money on him as much as they can. I don't think they want to take a massive loss because he's still a young guy. So I could see him going on loan, playing really well, and then that sparks a bit of a transfer war for him the summer after with 2 years left in his deal. I feel like Liverpool might take the gamble at that. But yeah, with the number 9, the way we want to play, I still think, even under a new manager, I still think we play better with a false 9. Even with a new manager right now, it's because of the wide players we got. I don't think anyone else in the league or in Europe have got wide forwards like we have that score goals at this level. I think Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah got 60 GA.
Yeah,
You know, mad that is. You know, and they're all wide players, really. And I know Diaz is playing centrally now, but he's a wide player as well. So when you got players like that tuck in and like to cut in and play in the inside channel more than that wide, and playing out that wide areas, playing in that inside channel. It's very hard. If you've got a Salah there and a Gakpo there or a Diaz there in the inside channels, it's very hard for your natural number 9 to find any room.
Yeah.
So that's why I think when Diaz plays, you know, he's not a natural 9, so he will draw back or get into a position that's not natural to a striker, which helps the inside forwards to come in more and get more goals. So I think that's why Darwin has struggled this year and last year as well, because we're not set up to play with a proper striker. And that's why I like Isaac. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he would work with the wide players we got right now. You know, I like Cunha at Wolves. I think he's a diamond. I literally think if he was here now, he'd have about 8 or 9 goals. And that straight away is better than Darwin and more effective. So, yeah, I think I'll be interested in the summer because I do think we'll buy at a forward. But this January, look, I have a sneaky feeling Chiesa's going to go on loan in the next week or so.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a sneaky feeling.
Okay.
I have a sneaky feeling. I think there's. I listened to Slot in his press conference a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's finding it very difficult to get Chiesa minutes. And at the moment, you do have to ask yourself, where do we actually get Chiesa minutes? Because, you know, Salah's going to play. You know, Gakpo and Diaz are playing. I mean, Gakpo seems to be his number 1 left winger now. Diaz is, if he's not playing left wing, he's probably going to play middle or on the bench. And then he's probably going to play Jota or Darwin at this moment in time centrally.
Yeah.
So where does Chiesa get minutes? You know, and Slot needs him healthy and ready to go. So I've got this feeling they might loan him off to Italy, go and get some minutes, go and play, bring him back in the summer, give him pre-season. And if Slot can see him in pre-season, because obviously we never had him for pre-season, if Slot can see him in pre-season, if he's still not up to it, that's when you sell him. That's when
it's
you
not
sell
a wild
him.
shot, if I'm being brutally honest with you, because from the comments that Arsenal has said regarding Chiesa, I sense frustration from Arne Slot in
Because he's
terms of
quality footballer. Yeah.
And that he's just never available. Like he's working hard, he's doing this, but he just can't seem to find his rhythm again. So yeah, it's such an unusual situation because we know he's a good player. We've seen it over the years, but right now he's just struggling to get minutes. And like you mentioned, with all our players, you know, firing all cylinders right now, it's going to be very hard for him to get game time. If he does get game time, it's going to be more of a bit part player. Whereas I feel like when he walked in through the door, he probably thought, you know what, maybe I can challenge that left wing position, or like he probably had an idea of where he could play. It's tricky. I'm hoping that he's able to gain some fitness and, you know, does a bit of a madness in the terms of the second half. But the signs aren't there for me to suggest that. That's just me being hopeful more than anything else. But
And Slot said it weren't really injuries his problem. It's not actually been injuries, his problem. He's been pretty healthy. He can't. It's like he can't compete train at this level that we're training at. That's the issue right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I watched him in the Euros in the summer. He was good.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's a fitness concern where it looks like the league is too. It's too difficult for him, and it's happened to Italian players in the past, not just ones that have been at Liverpool. So, yeah, I think he's played in Italy his whole career, and I think this is really he's looked at it and thought, "Oh bloody hell, this is." You get pressed every 2 seconds. It's a different world. It is a different world. I believe like Spain and Italy are more technical leagues where there's probably better technical football games. And if you're a technical player, you're probably more suited to them leagues. I don't think Chiesa's got that bite about him that, to dig in and get smashed about and still have technical ability at the same time, like a Mo Salah and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do, as much as I think he's a great player, and when I watched him at the Euros, I was like, oh man, we can get the Chiesa that we saw at the Euros and the Euros before his injury.
Yeah.
What a winger he is. I mean, only a few years ago, people were talking about him as a £100 million player.
Yeah,
so he's a good footballer. Slot wants to use him. That's why I brought him in. I think he brought Chiesa in to back up Mo, so he could take Mo off more and use Chiesa. But he's just not been able to because he can't keep his fitness or whatever it is. So, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets loaned in January, man. And then we go and buy a forward in January as well. Ryan Shirky.
Do you know what? That would be an amazing signing. I'm not gonna lie to you. From what I've heard in terms of reports, like there's question marks in regards to his temperament and his mentality on and off the pitch. But when you watch him in action, you can't just help but like, do you know what? Imagine him in a Liverpool team. He would be sensational. Like in terms of the way he plays, you don't really get those type of footballers now. Like he's a street baller the way he plays, and I feel like he'll just bring that excitement to the way. I feel like he'll do one on stuff, but it does come down to his sort of mentality. Is he going to press? Because we've got Szoboszlai playing that role, and Szoboszlai runs around like a crazy man. So that is something that will, it'll be interesting to see if that does happen. Who would be the person that comes in? Funny enough, today there was a rumor circling regarding Tyler Dibling from Southampton. What do you make of him as a player? Do you think that would be a player that could come into the squad, and is he the right fit as well?
Well, what I think I get from Slot is that he likes technical footballers.
Yes.
And I'm not saying Klopp didn't like technical. Everyone likes technical footballers. But I think Klopp could take a player, especially in midfield, and mould him into something different. Like he took Gini Wijnaldum, an attacking midfielder who could play wide, could play in a 10 goal-scoring midfielder, and made him basically a sort of like 6/8, a controlling midfielder. And we know Wijnaldum got a bit irritated with that at times. He wanted to play further up.
Yeah.
With Slot, you can tell he wants that technical, the way he plays through the midfield. He wants to play through the press. He likes teams coming onto us, so we play through them, through the midfield, through the central areas. And then when we're ahead of their press, then we put the ball out quickly into the wide areas and get our goals. To do that, you've got to be technical in midfield. And that's why we wanted Zubimendi in the summer. It all makes sense. Dibling's that kind of player. He can play a bit further up. He can play behind. He can play 10. He can play wide as well. But I look at him and I think, he has got sort of like, that is, if I've ever seen a Liverpool transfer, that is one. That is one. I've read today that Liverpool apparently, it's come out of nowhere that Liverpool are extremely keen on him, and they've done apparently a lot of work on him already. So I think that's one to watch. I really do think that's one to watch. And I think he improves us right now. I think he's a young guy. Was he 19? I think he's a young guy. But my worry about someone like him coming in is my worry about someone like Harvey Elliott. If we're looking at these kind of players, and Harvey's one of them players, it's Slot completely convinced about Harvey. That's and I love Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey Elliott's going to be he's going to have a tremendous career. I think he'll have a very very good career. I think Harvey's more of a creative mind, and he can grab the odd goal here and there.
Yeah.
But the way we're playing at the moment, again, You know, Dibbling could play a little bit back. He could play in them wide areas. He's got a little bit more about him athletic wise than Harvey has as well. Yeah, that's what I wonder there. Why we're looking at someone like that when you've got a Harvey, you've got a Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones is perfectly safe. I think Slot loves him. Because he can play in that 8, he can play in that 6, he can play in that 10, he can play left hand side if you really need him to. So he's perfectly safe. Yeah, Mark, Endo, Curtis, Endo and Harvey. If you're looking at people like Dibbling, you're looking at people like Zubermendi in your midfield, technical players, got good vision, can see everything around them, got a bit of athleticism about them, can move around the pitch. They're the two I worry in our squad that'll be replaced, in my opinion.
The Harvey one is actually, I didn't really think of it that way. It's an interesting one because he's come back from injury. It's been almost 6 weeks now, and he's very rarely played any games. Like whenever he has come on, he's actually played as a right winger rather than as a number 10, which is what we all
without
expected him to do.
breaking news. Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted out official contacts between Trent and Real Madrid are expected soon.
Oh my God.
So that's just come out. That's just come out from Fabrizio 5 minutes ago. Official contacts between Trent and Real Madrid are expected soon. Interesting. That could be anything, though. That could be anything. That could be just, again, that could be Trent just listening to what they're offering, just knowing, I'll go to Liverpool and this is what they're giving me, but I want to stay here.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But go on.
That's the thing. We're not making things public, but Real Madrid are. That's the difference between Liverpool and Real Madrid. So that's why I say, and we said it earlier on as well, take these tweets and rumors with a pinch of salt because it's not it's not gospel. You have to really just, be careful in terms of what you think. So before we begin our traditional match preview, I'm just going to go through the comments as there's quite a few. So big up to everyone for engaging with us. So Darren Puna says, up to red, big up yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comment. Mr. Link says, I'm expecting strip club levels of showmanship from this show. Big up yourself, Mr. Link. Football with ends, big up, bro. Big up ends as always. Thank you for your comment. Steve says, let's go, champ. Let's go indeed, Steve. Big up yourself. Daz saying, big up to Ozzie and Jamie. Big up, Daz. Steve saying, is this an open floor tonight, Ozzie? No, it's just me and Jamie today. It's the first time I had Jamie on the show, so all my questions and all my points and discussion will be with Jamie. But in the future shows, I'll try and get you guys to come on and engage with us. So yeah, big up yourself, Steve. Rami says, big up the crew. Ozzie, big up for getting Glenn Hoddle on the show. Not sure why that comparison there. Dad said, can we do combined 11s, Ozzie, please? I'll be honest with you, it's all Liverpool.
I'm not one Man United player that gets in this
team. Single Man United player I would even consider in this show. So yeah, unfortunately, we're undisputed when it comes to the combined 11 there. Steve says Trent rumor is what it is, a rumor. Only stupid fans believe this dog poo. Fair enough, Steve.
The thing with rumors, though, when one thing's been said and said again, there's got to be some kind of truth behind it. Yeah. Doesn't mean it's 100% truth, but there must be, like, it could be 10%, a little crumb in there.
Yeah.
That's always right. Yeah, exactly.
It's true. There's got to be something into it. It can't just be, brought out of thin air. So, no, there's definitely something to it. Definitely. Steve said, is the Trent, Virgil, Salah circus all an FSG doorstep? Ravi says, for me, I don't see why people think it's bad for Trent to leave, for real, to live out his football dreams.
If he wants to go,
we spoke about this earlier on, like in terms of, if he's got these aspirations to go elsewhere, I don't have any, like, sort of ill feelings about that because at the end of the day, he's a footballer and he can do what he wants. So right now, there's this uncertainty that we don't really know what the future holds for him. So as fan base, we have to really stay calm because what if he signs a contract? I'm expecting a lot of apologies on social media because there's been a lot of people that have been saying all kinds of stuff about Trent. So
yeah, I think it's time. But if he did leave, I think it all depends how he left.
Yeah,
if he found out that Liverpool offered him actually a really big contract, just as much as Madrid, and he still left, I think there might be some daggers.
If he leaves this month,
then I don't know how he gets over that. But it all depends how you leave. I don't think anyone, Fowler left, Gerrard left for 1 year pretty much, but everyone leaves. But Nah, I'm comfortable at the moment. I think you're staying, man. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Ravi says, slap them likes up and subscribe. Big up yourself, Ravi. Steve says, who is to blame for the Trent, Virgil, Salah contracts to run down to their 6 months?
Well, it's the ownership. They own the football club, yeah. They
Yeah,
own the club. They employ people. I will say, look, I'm not going to blame Jurgen, but Jurgen took on too much power. He did. Look, managers should just be managers, and you have other people in other positions.
yeah,
Look, I think it's blatantly obvious that Julian Ward and Michael Edwards did not get on with Jurgen, because I don't think Jurgen, a bit like Wenger, didn't want to start giving up power in certain areas. We've heard already from, is it Ian Graham, who said with the Darwin situation, Liverpool didn't want Darwin. That weren't the data we were looking at. It was Jurgen who wanted Darwin. They were looking at Christopher and Kunku at the time to replace Bobby.
I remember. Yeah,
Jurgen wanted Darwin, and what FSG did. This is FSG's fault, not Jurgen's. What FSG did, they just gave Jurgen all the trust in the world. Went, oh, if Jurgen wants that, he's been like, Jurgen's been a saint for us. It's making everything look better. Just give Jurgen what he wants. So they went and got Darwin. So I'm not blaming Jurgen at all, but that's FSG's fault for giving a man too much power. It shouldn't be the case. And yeah, so it's all on whoever owns the football club. They employ people, and it all feeds down. You know, if my kid's bad at school, it's not my kid's fault. It's my fault. I'm the dad. You know,
exactly.
Like,
That's how it works. Yeah, it's very true. That's a big up, Ravi, mate. Happy New Year to everyone as well. And it's him big up as well. And he's saying rumors coming out of Asia is that I have a bid to sign Trent. Daz says big up Steve, mate. The panel are you guys FSG in or FSG out?
oh man, that argument is so like FSG are not the best owners in the world. We can all say this, but
Yeah,
we are quite a stable football club compared to some other football clubs around at the
yeah,
moment. So they've done decent things, bringing Slot in. I mean, they've done decent things, but there's things as well that they've done is dog poo. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
But there's not a perfect owner. City get found out of all the criminal activity they've done, and they get found guilty of anything. They're dog poo owners because they cheated to do what they did. So there's no perfect owners, guys. There really ain't. But are they ambitious enough? My answer would be no.
No.
There you go.
That's always been my issue with FSG in terms of they've never shown ambition over the years, especially when we've been at the top. Those were the times where we should have really capitalized and recruited better and added more quality to our squad. We failed to do that, so that's what it comes down to. But in terms of how they operate as a business, I quite like it in terms of how they operate, in terms of the way they recruit players and stuff. Because I do feel like we're a team that we can't just go on and buy a ready-made £100 million player. We have to look for someone that's young or has that potential to hit that next level.
Not a lot of clubs do, Ozzie. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of clubs do. So
yeah,
I'm with you, though. Business-wise, apart from the last few years where I believe they've got lazy and they've ruined things.
Yeah.
But like what you say, ambition-wise, I'm with you. They lack that ambition. Like this January, I think they should go and get a centre back and a midfielder in, give Slotty what he wants, and you go and win everything. But will they do that? That's a show of ambition again. So anyone on the ambition side of it, we all agree. Just first,
100%. Sean, Blackmore says, "Evening, Ozzie and Jamie. Big up yourself, Sean. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in." Steve said, "Who is ideal Salah replacement in your eyes?"
No one.
No, there's no one in world football. Honestly,
there's no better right winger in the world than Mo Salah. There's no better player in the world than Mo Salah. I think you have to change the way you play when Mo eventually leaves this football club, and you change your attacking philosophy around the club, and maybe you go and buy a striker, you buy maybe a winger that's more of a creative winger than a goal scoring winger, and you set up for the main striker, and then you only have so you can change it up, but like for like. Look, I know people say Rodrigo at Real Madrid. Rodrigo can't tie Mo Salah's boots, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no one. You have to do it a different way.
Yeah. Just like when Jurgen Klopp left, we couldn't find another Jurgen Klopp. We found Arne Slot, but he's got a different way of, coaching.
We lucked out. We lucked out.
We did. we did. And it's not always going to happen. So, yeah, for me, I don't see there being a direct replacement for Salah. I think it's an impossible task, if I'm being honest. Ravi says, I will never hate Trent. He won it all for us, so I'll let him live his life. Fair enough, Ravi. Steve says, have cheap broke FSG offer Salah new deal. We won't know until it's official, so we'll have to wait and see. Double D says, hopefully the against West Ham was indication he's changed his mind. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that is the case. Steve said, why can't cheap broke FSG keep LFC best players, LFC, and match their ambitions? They're a business.
What best players have left Liverpool lately?
No one that's at the highest level, in my opinion.
I mean,
No one.
are we still going to be talking about Coutinho like 7 years on or something like that? It's like Mane left. I think Mane left at the right time.
Yes.
Mane left at the right time. You see that with his career after. It flourished. It was done. Bobby left at the right time. He weren't the same player. If you look at Wijnaldum, maybe Michael Edwards knew. You know, he weren't the same player after he left. What? No.
That's true.
Right now, I'm not backing FSG up or anything. I'm going against Steve's point, but trying to think what best player in the last few years has actually gone on and been better.
No, there's no one. If I'm being honest, I can't think of anyone that's gone on and done well after leaving Liverpool.
Steve means in the 14 years. So in the 14 years they've been there, Suarez
is the only one then, I think.
To gone on and be better. Suarez.
It's only Suarez.
Coutinho completely flopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Suarez.
No, I think it was only Suarez. And unfortunately with Suarez, there was a lot of off-field issues that helped kind of engineer that move as well. It was where, he was doing all kinds of madness. To be honest with you,
Dara put Solanke. So Solanke played like 7 games.
Yeah, he played. We got some change out of him, so at least that ended up working well from a business point of view. But no, he was never ready made at that time. He was a young striker. I think we took him on board because of the free transfer and thought he's got potential. So if we sell him on, we're gonna add some release clauses, and look, that's what ended up happening.
I suppose you could argue Emre Can, but I don't think we missed Emre Can.
No.
Yeah.
Can't really think of. I think it's Suarez. He's definitely the one that stands out. But look at Coutinho's career; he went downhill as well. So
he flopped. Man went to Barcelona for a year, got injured, and went to Bayern Munich on loan. Yeah. Then scored when he celebrated and knocked Barcelona at Champions League. It was hilarious.
I'll make that stuff up to you.
So yeah.
Rami says, question: who would you get to replace Trent? Oh bloody hell, if he goes, don't know.
It's a weird one with Trent. Look, Trent is at the end of the day, Trent is a right back.
Yeah.
So you can go and buy a very good right back. I don't think Liverpool would. I think they just put Conor Bradley as Liverpool's main right back. That's how I feel they would do it. Because in a way, if you didn't do that, then what does Conor Bradley do?
Yeah.
He might as well leave. So I think that's what they would do. Conor Bradley would be the main right back, but he's completely different right back to Trent.
Yeah.
Trent's on the ball work from the right back position, from a deeper position, is no one else in the world. That's why Real Madrid want him. Because if they know they get him, he opens up the game completely for Real Madrid. If Real Madrid are getting under the pressure or anything like that, can you imagine if Trent's got the ball and Mbappe's just going to take one look and go, right, I'm off.
Yeah.
Right, I'll make my move now because Trent's going to find me. Finish it. All right, I'm off. Trent's going to find me.
Yeah.
It's a weapon like no other weapon anyone's. My old problem with Trent, always and forever will be, is application to defending at times. I'm not saying he's not a bad defender or a good defender, but sometimes it's his application in the game. The Fulham game when he couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
things like that. And then you see 1 week later he can be bothered. That's the bit of irritation the most about Trent. But on the ball in that position, he's an anomaly. He's an anomaly. So maybe, asking for 300 grand a week, you can understand why he might be asking for it because there is no one like him. He's different.
No. I think similar point to what you made about Salah. You can't really replace Trent like for like, so you will
No,
have to adapt a different way of playing.
just a
Either is
defensive
that
fullback.
it's an
Yeah.
orthodox right back, or someone like a Conor Bradley, where he's a bit more, you know, all round, where he's good at attacking and defending. So you
Mm.
can't get like for like. This is why us as a fan base, we're so like hoping and praying that these players are signing new contracts because they're irreplaceable, in my opinion. Van Dijk as well. I don't know any centre back that can replace Van Dijk right now. I generally don't. I don't feel there's anyone in world football that can come in and do what Van Dijk has done. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
for
just
like, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you.
they're all right because they're the top of their game, so you have to
Yeah,
just do things a different way. Yeah.
very true. Very true. Steve says to the panel, are Trent, Van Dijk, Salah better players than John James, Stones, KDB this year? Yeah,
Well, yeah.
you'd have to say yes, isn't it? Yeah.
We'll say.
Uh, KDB's hardly been involved. Stones
Yeah.
has been injured for most of the time, so yeah, I'd definitely say yes.
Most of them are better than them at any time in the season. To be fair,
Fair
any
point as
year,
well.
maybe
Fair-
apart from Kevin. Maybe apart from Kevin.
Yeah, fair enough. Steve says cheap broke FSU plans to replace Virgil Salah Endo, i.e. Bradley Q, Elliot Bajtic. We need FSU out protest this month.
I don't. Is the
I don't
Bradley
think that's
one
enough.
really that bad of a take, though? I like Conor Bradley. I think he's a super talented player.
Yeah,
Look,
I, yeah,
again, no right back in world football anywhere. I don't know. I don't watch. I'm not watching every league in the world, but
so
most right backs in the world that I know are nowhere near Trent's level
no,
on the ball. So you're buying a different kind of right back, and I think Conor Bradley's a decent player. The thing with Conor Bradley, he comes in for 1, 2, 3, or 4 games. He'll have 50% good games, 50% bad games, then you don't see him again. So he can never really play regularly. We always thought this with Curtis Jones, and once Curtis Jones got in the team and played 20, 30, 40 games, you're like,
yeah,
oh, there's the quality. Now I see it.
yeah,
I think with Conor Bradley, he's a good player for us, man. He's a good talent. He's not Trent talent, of course.
but
Midfield wise, that is my worry. I'm going to agree with Steve here, though. Big up, Steve. I
mm,
will say, if you lost all 3 of them in the same summer, I don't know what we would do, because not just for FSG, but for any club,
yeah,
financially putting together something to replace them 3 caliber of players would cost so much, and you wouldn't be able to do it in one summer. You'd
no.
have to be so clever in the transfer market, and I wouldn't trust them to do that right now. So I will agree with Steve there.
I think that'd be suicidal if we let all 3
Mm.
go. I generally do. I think we'd take 5 steps back as a club. I think it'll be that much of an impact. So yeah, let's hope that is not the case. Steve says, how can players sign contract if cheap broke FSG ain't offered them? We don't know. Honestly, this is why I feel like I'm such a like a bit more of a calm content creator where I don't have the information when it comes to these contract talks. So we can go off based on what rumors we hear, but always just take it with a pinch of salt because we don't know what's going behind the boardrooms and all that sort of stuff. We don't know. So
It ain't FSG offering them either.
yeah, it's down
The
to
way it's
you.
Richard Hughes and Mark Edwards.
Yeah.
John W. Henry ain't sitting there in the boardroom. He
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how much
yeah,
these
yeah,
guys are.
yeah. He's smoking
Gets up.
cigar in the
He might read the audit at the end of the year, but he
yeah,
ain't sitting there like. It's different with his baseball team,
yeah,
because
more hands on.
he's 100% on with the baseball team and he knows everything about it. In football, he employs people to do the football work,
Yes.
don't he? That's why he's
Yeah,
got football people in.
agreed.
So
Agreed.
when it comes to stuff like that, what they get. So so put it this way: Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes will know the budget.
Yeah.
They will receive the budget, and then it's up to them what they do with the budget.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's what
So
it comes
weird.
down to. That's the two
It's a
people you
weird
have
way
to.
we're run. It's a weird way we're run. It's like
Yeah.
Tottenham. Everyone thinks Daniel Levy is the owner of Tottenham. He ain't.
No.
It's an American company, ain't it? And Levy's just the head man. They leave him to do everything football related. So he actually gets the brunt of everything when it's not real,
It's not really him, no.
people behind him.
He's the face of the football operations, but he's not really the one
He's
that
not the
calls all the
owner.
shots.
He has a
Yeah.
percentage of the club, but he's not the out and out owner.
No doubt, no, exactly. So no, I definitely agree with that. What does your guess mean with this Trent drama is on the club, on Liverpool, on FSG? I'm not too sure. We've spoken quite a lot on Trent, so we'll move on from there. Caesar, what do you do to get Trent, Virgil van Dijk, Salah to sign new deals? I'm not gonna say give them what you want, but you've got to present the right terms for them, and that's what we've discussed earlier in the show. Virgil and Mohamed Salah would probably want a lengthy contract, and Trent would want kind of similar contract, but obviously wants to be paid, equivalent to what other right backs in world football are being paid. So it's just giving them what they're worth and then just taking it from there. So there's no sort of quick answer in terms of what we need to do. These deals, these are free, elite, high profile players. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of groundwork for these deals to be done. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Steve says cheap broke FSG are using the Trent contracts to redirect attention away from the real fans, wanting new signs from FSG this month to help us win the title. Fair enough. Steve said Edwards has nearly had a year to sort out Trent, Virgil, Salah, new deals. I wouldn't say a year. He probably came in around July, so it's been a few months. But yeah, I don't. It was the mess that he kind of took on board when he came back to the club. So you know, we don't know what's going behind the scenes in terms of what the negotiations are. For all we know, things may be agreed, and it's just the right timing to announce these deals. Well, only time will tell in terms of what's been done. Steve said if FSG was smart, they would have got the deals got these players on new 4-year deals in 2022. Yeah, but there was a different regime at that time, so in hindsight, yeah, that's probably the right call there. Steve says Madrid to sign Canate Groundberg Mac by 2026. FSG will sell any defensive players for the right price. I hope that's not the case, but yeah, confident in the future right now. James LFC86 says I wouldn't go any higher than 275 a week. That's for Trent. 275 is fine. I think he'd accept that as well. I think that's reasonable. It's more than what Reece James is earning, and I think if you want to label it as what other right backs are earning in world football, he'll be the highest earned in world football. So I think he'd accept that, to be fair. Steve says our stupid fans, podcast guys, think they are personally paying Trent 300k on his new deal. We're not. So we're just giving you our thoughts and opinions on the player. We're not saying, give him what he wants. We're understanding the situation in terms of, you got to look at the market, what are right backs earning, and we'll just take it from there, to be fair. Steve says, stop listening to idiot journalists like Joyce, Steve Lynch, Pierce, Reddy, all on FSG payroll to spread FSG BS. Fair enough. Steve says, Van Dijk, Salah are getting older and playing better. Ozzie, they are, especially Mohamed Salah, and it's to be fair, Virgil as well, from a defensive point of view.
It is true. They are playing better. They are in their 30s, and
yeah,
it can go like that at the same time. So, yeah, that's why the club have got. I can understand the club's point of view. A 33 and a 32-year-old wanting big money, big contracts. It's a bit of a gamble. You don't want. It's going to be hard to maybe get that money back if they go on a downturn. But I don't see that happening for 2 years, which is pretty for me. Is why the club are offering 2-year deals to them.
I agree. No, that makes sense. Jordan says, hey, bro, big up yourself, Jordan. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. He says, cheap plug FSG, give Arne a quality centre back, number 6 this week. We win time April. Over to you, cheap FSG.
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah, those positions, I think we can all say are areas of improvement, but I think January is just one of those weird windows. You can't get the players that you really want.
It's a desperation window, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Or it's an opportunistic window, ain't it? We did that with Gakpo for 40 million.
Yeah.
We was able to get him in the January. We got Luis Diaz in the January because we heard Tottenham were eyeing for him, but he was actually meant to be bought in the following summer. So it was an opportunistic window for us then. But usually it's like last January, no one did anything.
No, anyone.
I think it's going to be quiet again. I know Aston Villa are in for Marlon at Dortmund, who a really weird winger. I'm not quite sure why they're after him. I don't think a lot will happen. City, look, the only team that really needs a buy is probably City. The thing with Liverpool, right? If you're on a slot right now, who do you go and get? That makes you better.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Who do you go and get that makes you better? Because you don't want to look. Endo is perfect. Can you upgrade and retire Endo? Of course you can.
Yeah.
But the upgrade and retire Endo might upset the rhythm of your team a little bit because you might not be happy not having the minutes Retiro Endo has. Retiro Endo, not saying he's happy not playing, but he's comfortable in his position knowing what he is to the squad.
Yeah.
So then do you want to do that in the middle of the season, or would it be easier to do that at the end of the season, beginning of a new season, when you can interact with them a little bit more? So, yeah, for me, if we can only buy one player in January, I'd get a centre back.
Yeah.
That'd be the one player I'd get in January if I could. Because I think we're going to need a centre back next summer anyway, because I don't think Joey Gomez or Kwanzaa will be here next year. So,
Yeah. I think Kwanzaa might. I would personally send Kwanzaa out on loan. I think it will be good for his development. I think he was kind of fast-tracked a bit too soon into the first team due to the defensive issues that we had. Playing with great potential, but I do feel like a loan move elsewhere might be good for his development. So we'll see what happens until his future. Dara says, hi, all big up yourself, Dara. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comment. Abdul Rahim, big up Abdul. He says, sell Nunez, bring Isak now. Yeah,
no one's buying Isak in January.
no one's buying Isak, yeah. Dara said, bring in Cunha, another player you mentioned, Jamie.
I like him, man. Him and João Pedro, I think they could do a job.
Yeah, they're good players. Steve says FSG might do this, i.e. Chiesa, Nunez out on loan. They sell Endo, bringing Bashtic to replace Endo, sign David. That's Jonathan David, isn't it? The little striker.
He's shit.
I don't like him, to be fair.
He's crap.
To replace Chiesa, Nunez, FSG, sell Nunez, Chiesa, keep the money. I think that's a lot of work. January window, to be fair.
That's a mad January window. I don't think I'll be shocked if Endo leaves the football club before next season. Because Stefan went for a loan fee, I don't think you can recall him.
Yeah.
I think Jonathan David's terrible. Turkey's cheap, and that's why Liverpool will be looking at him. But a man of that quality, of that quality at 21 years old for 25 million quid, he might not be what we need right now, but I could understand why Liverpool want him.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's got so much quality. If you can get him for 25 million quid, Liverpool. Look, I won't call Liverpool cheap. I think Liverpool are just more clever than a lot of other teams in the window at times. Like, how did no one else know McAllister had a £35 release clause?
Yeah,
£35 million release clause. Do you know if City and Arsenal knew that, we might not have got him.
No
so,
way.
You know, that's an easy £80 million midfielder there. You know, so yeah, I think you can do like Kanate for like less than 40 million. And you look at what people are getting defenders for these days, like Fofana and all that, 80-odd million. We got, you know. So I understand where people think it's cheap, and maybe they are at times because they're opportunistic signings. But yeah, like it wasn't too long ago that all rivals were jealous of how cheap we got players for quality. Yeah. So yeah.
Just think, look at our track record. We've very rarely made mistakes in the transfer market.
It's only been the last couple of years, in my opinion.
Yeah, so
Darwin was a mistake. Chiesa was a mistake. Not getting a midfielder in the year that Klopp year, and we got Arthur Melo, mistake. You know, that's when I said the club were lazy. I'm hoping from the next few years that won't be the case anymore.
Yeah, and what you alluded to about Jurgen Klopp having too much power, I think that definitely played a part as well. So no, it's a fair assessment. Dara saying Solanke or Nunez?
Neither. It's like having a shit and seeing what one's the prettiest. You know what I mean?
He says Nunes out on loan with option to buy this summer. Get Reinders in exchange from.
I do like Reinders. I do like Reinders, but they're not swapping Darwin for Reinders, man. Unless they've had too much sauce that night. No, I like Reinders though. I'm with you, Steve. Reinders is a good player.
Quality. He's a quality player. Very good player. Forget about Nunes, please. Yeah, I think
we would.
Yeah,
we would.
We said earlier on, yeah, we would for sure. So this is Daz's lineup. So we'll do the match preview, but we'll just read out your comment. Alisson, Trent, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, Robbo, Ryan, Jones, Macca, Salah, Diaz, Cody. So that's a decent lineup there. Dara's asking.
I've got Ryan is right. I bet Graham Birch, of course, is
Dara's asking Alphonso Davies or Robinson from Fulham.
Robinson's too old. Yeah, happening. think the Alphonso Davies rumours are true. I'd keep an eye on that. I'd keep an eye on the Alphonso Davies stuff.
I do like him. I do like him, to be fair.
And I think Liverpool would rather buy him in January than get him for a free in the summer because it's cheaper.
Okay.
If you get him in the summer, you're going to have to pay more in wages and a bigger signing-on fee. If you get him in January, for Alphonso Davies. If you get him in January, you could probably pick him up a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And you can probably give him a little less wages and sign-on fee. So it works out better to get him in January than it does the summer. I think Alphonso Davies is one to keep an eye on. I do think Liverpool are looking at him.
Do you think Real Madrid are still in pursuit, or are we kind of the front runners? Would you say?
Mean, to get Trent and Davis on loan at this as free transfers at the same time would be the biggest piss take in football history. Yeah, they might be having to look at one or the other. It all depends.
What happens in this month, isn't it? Yeah.
They need a right back and a left back, to be fair. So
they do. Their left back, yeah. Mendy's not really delivered, in my opinion, on that side. Steve saying, Ozzie, not really live chat out today. No, of course I am. Obviously, we were in dialogue with talking a lot of topics earlier on, so I thought, I'd bide my time and, bring the comments later on. Justin with the salute there. Big up yourself, Dustin. Thank you for your comment there. Abdul Rahim asking, Zubimendi or Edison, Jamie? Who would you pick?
Zubimendi every day of the week.
Yeah.
Edison, I've watched him quite a bit now. I don't think he's all that. I know there was a lot of hype about him last season. I was hyped about him last season as well, a little bit sore.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I look at our midfield now. I don't think he's an upgrade on Szoboszlai. I don't think he's an upgrade on Gravenberch, and he's not better on McAllister. So where does he play?
Yeah.
Where Zubimendi is your perfect balance of everything.
He's a specialist.
He's a specialist, and you can have a midfield of. You could put Mac in the 10 and have Zubimendi and Gravenberch pivoting. You can have one of them on the bench and give Gravenberch a rest, play Zubimendi. It just gives you so many more options. Edison don't give you the same options in the squad. No. He has to play in one particular place, and I don't think he's better than what we got.
Edison's one of those players. I feel like he's a bit of a jack of all trades, where he can do a bit of everything, but he's not really a specialist or a player that will hold down a particular position. So in a double pivot, it could work, but for me, I feel like we do need a Zubimendi. We need a bit more of a controller that allows Gravenberch to play with a bit more freedom, and I think that would add the perfect balance. So yeah, I'd go for Zubimendi. But obviously, with Zubimendi, we just don't know what's going on with him. So yeah, we'll see. Dara says Neva to Bashtic. He says you diss Doak, but I don't. How about Rio? Rio, the young player, he looks talented. To be fair, he looks like he's got.
I reckon he might play some game against Acton Stanley.
Yeah, I think he will as well. He'll definitely be in the squad.
I'll be shocked if you see a single first teamer in that game.
Yes.
Be shocked.
Can you imagine us going with all of our top players? Yeah, that wouldn't be right.
Be shocked.
I was saying what's going on with Keza. So, Keza, he's just not fully fit right now. Unfortunately, we spoke speaking about earlier on. Maybe we feel like the intensity of not even the Premier League, because he hasn't played much, but maybe even just training is just too much for him right now. So he's available from what I've heard, but whether he's in contention to start, I doubt he is right now. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll get some further news on Chiesa in the coming weeks. Steve says FSG sell Nunes this summer and sign his replacement on a free. Jonathan David, FSG, keep the money from.
We don't do, apart from Matip and Milner, I don't think we do free transfers. What I've heard is that FSG actually hate doing free transfers because it actually costs you more money.
Because of sign-on fees and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they don't really like it. Because Matip was an easy free transfer because he had no real PR against him. So he weren't a big name, so it was an easy free transfer to do. And Milner was pretty much an easy free transfer to do because he coming in from leaving City. So, yeah, I don't think we do. I don't see us doing any free transfer. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. If they were going to get these players, they'd rather pay it in January than get them for a free.
Yeah. I honestly, I think with Jonathan David, I haven't seen a lot of him, but when I've seen it, I've not been impressed. He hasn't moved me, to be honest with you.
No.
So not the player that I'd want at Liverpool, to be honest with you.
He's not better than any of our forwards.
No, and that's what you got to look at as well. Does he improve our squad? I don't think he does, to be fair.
No, no.
Scraps, big up Scraps. He says, I'll say it, he's rubbish. I think
How
you're
about
referring to
Darwin?
Darwin
Yeah,
Nunes.
big up scraps.
Adam's asking, will LFC go to buy anyone in January with FSG?
I don't think we'll buy anyone in January
No.
unless the opportunity comes. If they know if they can get Shirky cheap, they'll do it. If I'd love them to go and get Zubimendi back in. Listen again, Balagay earlier on today, basically saying he doesn't think that's going to be the case.
Okay.
It's a shame. Yeah, I think if the right players there, they will get them. But I don't. I'm saying it. I don't think anyone does that much business in January. I really don't.
I'm with you, Jamie. I think even Man City, because obviously everyone's saying, they've got money, but the thing is, they're in a situation where they've got 130 charges, so they've got a case on them right now.
Yeah,
So
the
I
players
don't
want to
think
go.
they'll be spending cash. Yeah.
The players want to go right now. I won't be shocked if City do get Zubimendi though. My only thing is though,
Maybe.
Zubimendi gets annoyed that he plays behind Rodri for Spain.
It's the same at club
And
level,
as
then,
soon
isn't
as
it?
Rodri comes back, I don't see Pep playing both of them together.
No. They don't play
So
with double pivot, so it's not really
no,
their system. So,
no.
no, I agree with that one. Steve saying to Abdul, kids are not settled in England, wants to return home. Yeah, if rumors are to believe, I think it's more so the footballing aspect of it,
Mm.
where maybe it's just not what he had expected. Personally, I think from when I remember watching the vlog when he first signed, he was ecstatic about joining the club. So I don't think it's about the country because he would have taken some sort of research or understand what English lifestyle is. I just don't feel like maybe the football isn't really what he expected when he came in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Chiesa. Abdurrahim says Mr. Phillips is a passionate LFC fan. Yes, he is, of course. Dara says we all know that scraps, but unfortunately, people won't want to beat this into the ground. It is so boring.
I don't get at the games by the West Ham game. They go Nunes. I'm like, what am I watching? I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
it's a crazy kind of fandom that we have. Not us, of course, but I'm talking about other fans with Darwin Nunes. I don't know what it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. So
Look. Is he better? I say, look. Let's go through our strikers in recent years.
yeah,
He's not even better for me. Origi's about forward.
yeah,
No, like I don't like. I think there's more to Darwin's game than Origi. So Origi was lazy. Let's get that right.
yeah.
That's why he didn't play games. But he's a better finisher.
He's
Origi
a
was a
better
better
finisher.
finisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if corner taken quickly was to Darwin?
Ah,
Yeah. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Dara says not sure why you are still talking about his inadequacies when we already know what they are. You know,
It's true.
but yeah, it's true. But we still have to beat the drum, I guess, and just say what we feel. Steve says that Dara FSC showed us they ain't here to win trophies. Their only ambition is to increase LFC market value by taking out loans on LFC for infrastructure expansion.
All that's done
It-
now. Let's see what happens in the future.
yeah, exactly. This guest says next summer signings, typical FSG lover.
When,
I don't.
when did I say that?
I don't think Jamie said that. To be fair, I think we were just speaking in terms of short term and long term, what
Yeah.
the club ambitions are. But look, January is not a window for us to recruit players. We, like Jamie said, we don't really sign players unless it's opportunistic sort of signing, or if it's a summer target that is being, sought after by another club, then we kind of have to step in because all our plans for the summer go and fall to pieces. So no one really spends in January. Let's be honest.
And I don't know about you, Ozzie, but I believe this team will be fitter
I
coming to
think
the
so
end
as
of
well.
this season than they were
Yeah.
last season. And it's not a diss on Jurgen because everyone you talk about Jurgen, everyone thinks it's a diss, but
No.
Jurgen's football is so erratic. You were shattered. We was always shattered under Klopp's
Yeah.
teams. Klopp needs a big squad. In theory, Klopp needs a big squad with equal quality, and he
Yeah.
wins everything in the world. But I think with the way we play now, we'll go here tomorrow morning. I think Kanate is probably going to be ready for the Man United game, which, if that's the case, it's only Bradley and Gomez out in January, which, I mean,
It's not bad. It's not bad.
no, exactly. And you always have one or two injuries, don't you?
Yeah. It's part and parcel. So yeah, that's not and it's not players that we can, heavily reliant. There are other players that can occupy those positions. So we're in good shape, to be fair. As it says, get Isaac or Cunha or Wood. I wouldn't get Chris Wood. I know he's having a great season right now, but he's not.
Chris was at his level, in my opinion, and he's a good player. I
Yeah,
thought he was good at Burnley. He's good at. He's a decent player. He didn't work at Newcastle,
I don't know.
but I think you've got to play to Wood. Wood will get lost at Liverpool.
Yeah,
He won't be able to keep up with Mo and Diaz for starters, and the way we play through the midfield. So
yeah.
he would be able to keep up physically, but
Felt
he's a
like
good
I'm
player.
building Ricky Lambert
So
all over again.
yeah, it deserves the credit he's getting though. He's having a good year, man. He
Yeah,
deserves the
well
credit.
done.
He had a good year last year as well, to be fair. But
He did.
Cunha, out of all them, I think Cunha suits Liverpool the most.
I agree. I agree. I do like the look of Cunha, to be fair. She says, I know Steve and I detest them. Dustin says, I think selling Darwin Nunes in January makes uh, no sense. I think he means. Okay.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
Finally, you're talking about Cunha. We've mentioned Cunha before on the channel, but yeah, he's a player I really like, and Jamie likes as well. Uh, Steve saying at Dara, any person that says next summer, just some LFC do something in the market or not LFC fans, they support FSG. I don't think we support FSG, but we have to be, realists as well when it comes to these sort of things. Nothing gets done in January. It's all about forecasting everything you do in the summer. That's just how football teams operate. So
And
that's
did
just how I think.
and did Michael Edwards and that say they work a year ahead and they've only just got you?
Yeah, they've just
So you're more than likely going to see summer transfers. But
summer transfers. Yeah.
look, I don't think you need to buy a player every market.
No.
I don't think you need to always go into the transfer market every single time the market is open.
Yeah.
But if you can go in there and add quality to your squad, then do it. No,
Yeah.
most definitely. And Liverpool tried it this summer with ZWRLD, and and it didn't work. And if we got ZWRLD in the summer, we're sitting in half even better than we are now. So
Yeah.
yeah, add quality, man. I'm not all for about buy players for the sake of buying players just for
Yeah.
depth. I'd rather
Yeah.
buy people that are better than what we got in the first 11, so that adds quality to your squad more than just
Yeah.
a player.
Yeah. I agree. I agree on that one. Dustin says, I think selling Nunes in January makes no sense. Do you agree?
Yeah, not this Jan. I wouldn't let him go in
No.
January. Darwin can still give you moments this season,
Yeah.
and I think Darwin's a very good impact sub.
I agree.
I think Darwin's a very good
He's
impact
not
sub.
everyone's cup of tea, but I do feel like whenever he's come off the bench, he has changed games for us. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't
causing
want to lose
problems.
anyone right now. I feel like the momentum is so high within the club. It'd be stupid for us to just sell players just for the sake of selling
Yep.
players.
The only one that makes sense is Chiesa because he's not really played.
Yeah, he's
That
not really been part of
would have
the
hurt the squad dynamic. So
exactly. I
that's
agree.
why I feel like that could happen.
Yeah. Dara says I never have or will be Steve. Steve says ask the guest why did FSG sign an unfit player?
He went unfit. He just played the Euros. To be fair,
Yeah, it was an
they
opportunity
broke the.
signing.
Well, they thought he got a very good signing for 12 million quid for a.
Yeah,
There's not a person in the chat or us here right now who don't think Chiesa's a talented footballer,
no,
and they saw him for 12 million quid. And they like what I'm hearing is that Liverpool had a chance. It was between Ryan Shirky and Chiesa in the summer. They will go by 1 and 2, and they went with Chiesa.
yeah.
Maybe just
Which
got
on
the other
paper
way.
makes sense as well. We've
Yeah,
seen what he's been capable of producing. So
and
yeah,
slot lights 4 wingers, 2
yeah,
on each side. So
yeah.
that's why I went for it.
Mortaz says I'm an Egyptian and I want Salah to be sold. I am tired of him. He's not bigger than the club. I'm not with you on that one. I'm sorry. Salah has to stay.
Do
That
you mean he's not at a big enough club? Is that what you're saying, or
he's saying he's not
because
bigger than the club. So maybe it's
I
his
don't think Salah's
comment.
acted like that. I don't think Salah's acted like that.
I don't think so either, but I feel like so. For example, the West Ham game where he said that the contract talks are far away, so maybe
Yeah,
fans take that the
that
wrong
didn't.
way.
That didn't. The only thing that annoyed me about that, Mo's just being truthful, but the only
Yeah,
thing anyone talked about after that great game was that comment,
that
and
comment.
not
Yeah,
the absolute 5-0 battering we gave West Ham with some of the best attacking football I've seen this season.
yes.
We
So I
just
think
spoke
that's
about
what
the Salah stuff.
Marcus might be referring to in terms of maybe
Yeah,
these. I feel like Salah is just one of those people where he's very transparent. He doesn't really play the game to an extent in front of the media. So I hope he stays. I really do.
Mm.
That's the case. Another joke. Why have you been talking about him? All right, we'll keep it stim then. That says, Steve, his name is Jamie. He's a guest. Uh, like Thiago, Steve?
Injury prone.
Yeah. Uh, Dara says, the guest says, send kids out on loan. Okay. Look, I'm in the summer joke. I don't think it's. I think Jamie's analyzing it from a point of view where, because look, if the player's not settled right now, send him out on loan and then reviewing him when he comes back. It's not a crazy shout. I
Mm.
don't personally think so because I feel like if a player's not being used right now, maybe send him abroad where he gets game time, and then if he's fully fit, then we've got the player that we all really wanted, right? So he's had no preseason. He's struggled with fitness. He's been ill as well since he's come back in the last 2-3 weeks. It- Luck hasn't been on his side, unfortunately. So let's see what happens. I think it's a bit, you know, we can't dismiss Chiesa right now. We'll just kind of just see what happens when he returns to full fitness, I guess. So we'll see. Dara says no Italians have succeeded at Liverpool. Well, that's probably the Premier League as well, to be fair. But I'm hoping Chiesa can break that mold. Abdul says Jamie Phillips is a key individual to talk about LFC. Of course he is. That's why I've made sure that I've got Jamie on the show. I've been supportive of his for a long time, so I'm really pleased that he's here today. Uh, Steve says Dara Chiesa 2.0 Thiago. You are right. Yeah, injury prone. Yeah, I
Saying
guess.
that, last 2 years, Kaiser's barely missed a game.
I know. For the last season events, he played like 30 odd games, and he was playing as a
Yeah.
striker as well. So
And he
I
just
don't know.
played the Euros before we signed him. So
He was,
it,
yeah.
it's just not worked out, has it? And yeah, it's just what it is.
Stephen that is this Jamie guess is an FSG lover.
I
I
get that a
wouldn't say.
lot. Do you know why I get that a lot? It's
You?
because I don't bash the FSG out drum, although I say they lack ambition.
Yeah,
But I don't think so. Look, I'm going to keep saying this. I don't think they're 100% awful. I
yeah,
look at the way Barcelona are run right now. It's a disgrace. I look at the way Man United run right now. It's a disgrace. Chelsea are using Clearlake, who have got things with Newcastle and stuff like that, and
yeah,
they can sell hotels just to make sure they stay financially stable and all that. And I personally don't like that. I don't like what FSG have done either. I don't like them copyrighting the name Liverpool. I don't like the ticket sale increases.
yeah.
But when people talk about FSG like they're the only club, do you know there's only one club have not increased their tickets this year? I believe it is it Brentford?
Brentford, I think it is.
I
Yeah,
think they're the only team that have not increased their tickets. Do you know? And Liverpool increased it by 1%. Arsenal and Tottenham increased it by 7%.
yeah,
So yeah, they're all shit. If you ask me, I think every owner is a money grabber. Yeah, I think they're all money grabbers.
yeah,
But my problem with FSG is just the ambition point of it. Right now, they should look at it and go, shit, we are. I didn't expect us to be here. If John W. Emery could go, I didn't expect us to be here after Klopp. Can't believe how well
yeah,
it's going.
yeah,
That's make sure we stay here. Slot, what do you want? That
yeah.
should be what we should be doing, and that is not what they're doing, and that's the issue. Yeah.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I'll be honest with you, not to just say it because you're on the show. I have a similar way of thinking as well. In
Mm.
terms of, I like the way they operate as a business in terms of player recruitment. But I feel like they've lacked ambition. I think that's what we've said quite a few times today as well. So I wouldn't say, I don't like labeling things, but I wouldn't say you're an FSG lover or anything to that extent. I just feel that's a bit harsh. I don't think that is how you should be labeled. I think we just analyze the good and the bad in terms of what our owners do, and that's all we do as content creators. So
Sorry.
we move on to the next comment. And then Kaiser is mellow in disguise, bloody hell. The hologram there. Dara says that's complete bollocks, Steve. Get rid of Kaiser now. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that's got real high hopes of Kaiser where I'm thinking, look, give him a bit of time to regain fitness. He might show us something. Fans are fed up.
I
So,
mean, if he don't go on loan, there's a possibility Chiesa could maybe play the Tottenham game in the first leg. He could maybe play the 2 Champions League games coming up because we've already qualified. There's a few games coming up this month where Slot might be able to give him game time. And if he can come through that game time and show Slot what it's about, then he might stay. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's one to keep our eye on, guys. Really
definitely. Definitely. Okay, I think that's the same comment earlier on. At Dara Wild's case assigned, so that's the chat having a discussion on himself. Double D, big up Double D as always. He says Dibbling is a baller, but we need more experience. I'd say, yeah, that's a fair assessment. I do like the look of Dibbling though. The way he
Yeah,
played against us
he's a
is
summer
really
sign.
good.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
get him now because it wouldn't make sense because you need more of an experience playing now.
I
But
agree.
I think Dibley, if Liverpool are looking at him, maybe for the summer as an endo
So,
replacement. I hear that.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Dara says I have no idea what he's but I know shout when it. Let's keep it respectful, please, guys. I don't really like bashing on my guest. So please
That's
let's
all
just
right. That's all right. I get it all the
no,
time.
no, that's not, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but let's keep that kind of comment to the minimum, please. I don't appreciate that. Ravi says, oh my gosh, Jamie is an FSG lover. He's one guy that sees every argument before just putting out his views. Jamie's one guy that's passionate about Liverpool and his own views. That's interesting for me. Big up yourself, Ravi.
Big up, Ravi.
Um, Steve says, cheap broke FSG ain't paying 30 million for Dibbling. Get into reality, lads. We ain't owned by Mansour. Okay. Um, that's him. Big up to Double D. Doesn't agree, Dub, but I think we have players in our own squad that are equally as good. Dog, Neoni, Rio. Rio's too young. He's a 15, 16-year-old kid, so he's not ready. Neoni has shown, I feel like he's got a great future at the club, and I think he will play in the cup games. Ben Dog's out on loan, so he's not coming back anytime soon. So he's not really an option right now. Fans saying this guest knows ball. Let's just keep it respectful, guys. Come on. Ravi, question will be get something in January to push us to win the league. I think if there's a player that we feel like can improve the squad, I think that's when FSG will, or shall I say, the sporting director, Richard Hughes, will take a stance from there onwards. Um, but I don't think a lot of teams will spend money, to be fair. It's just one of those seasons where everyone's a bit careful in terms of how they spend money on players. It's not that kind of market anymore. Darcy, I disagree. Jones is too inconsistent. I quite like Jones, to be fair, but that's just my opinion. Uh, Cheap Brogue FSU will offer a Tesco carrot to sign Dibbling. Um, at Ravi, get ready for Mello. Very negative, guys. We gotta try and keep positive with these sort of players that we have in the squad. Uh, Dustin says official contact. Not sure what that's all about. I'd like to jump on this panel someday. Domidar, so a lot of my shows, for example, I do match reaction shows, I do Premier League review shows. Those are all calling shows. So you're welcome to come on. I always pin the link in the live chat, so you're more than welcome to come on. Even if I'm doing a Premier League show and I'm talking about all the teams, you're welcome to come on and speak about Liverpool. So the platform is always for you guys in certain shows. But today it's me and Jamie. Uh, Ravi says Jamie does know ball. I've been watching Jamie from the beginning and when he was on Copish, and that's why I rate Jamie always. Give it other fans of Liverpool a voice on this channel, of course. And look, Jamie is a very strong supporter of this channel. He gave me a shout out earlier on today in his show to make sure people subscribe to my channel. So, guys, do the same. Please subscribe to Jamie as well. Just because us content creators have different of opinions doesn't mean that we're wrong, and it doesn't mean we're better than anyone as well. We're very passionate football fans. We've chosen to have a platform to speak what we think, and that's always it's open discussion. So we don't think we're better than anyone. We're just saying what we feel and what we believe in terms of from a football point of view. So let's keep it respectful, guys. I don't accept this sort of bashing on my guests, especially for me. It's like when I have a guest on my show, it's like me inviting someone to my house. You got to show a bit of respect. So let's just keep it football. Let's not take any personal digs because that's not the way I like to run my channel. Steve says only fools listen and believe Trent rumors. It is what it is. Um, Double D said bad. What we'll do, guys, we'll hold the comments for now because I can see there's a lot of comments. Let's get on to the main topic, and that is Liverpool versus Manchester United. So let's talk about the team form. We'll speak about the away team first because we all know how well we're doing. Um, Our opponents, let's be honest, Manchester United are in the mud. I've got a lot of friends that are United fans, and
Mm.
shout out to those guys because a lot of them have gone very ghost on me. They don't really interact with me when it comes to football debates anymore. They've probably gone on and start following different sports like F1 and volleyball, whatever goes to their liking. And that's how bad it is for United fans. And as a Liverpool fan, I'm loving it. So they deserve every bit of suffering because us Liverpool fans have had to suffer over the years. And the Hodgson era for me comes to mind, which, dark times, if you ask me. But since the appointment of Ruben Amorim, or Amorim, as some fans were telling me, and poked fun by the fact that they thought they got a manager that rejected us. You can believe what you think in terms of that, but he hasn't exactly lit up the Premier League. In the last 8 games since he's been appointed as manager, they've won twice, which was against Everton and Man City. They drew against Ipswich, which was the opening game, and they've lost 5. They lost to Arsenal, Forest, Bournemouth, Wolves, and Newcastle. So, speaking of the number 8, Manchester United have not won at Anfield in their last 8 visits. So the odds are on our side and it's against us. However, I do believe with this fixture, due to our intense rivalry, form kind of goes out the window. So we have to take it for face value. In regards to Amorim, I actually think when he was first appointed, I said on my show as well, this season has to be regarded as a write-off. Amorim will require a lot of heavy recruitment in order for his team to play his style of football. He's already said that he won't be changing his tactics as he's a strong believer in his philosophy. So, Jamie, quickly, what have you made of Amorim's appointment? And not to be funny, but do you think he will last until the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if that weren't the case? With Amorim, or Amorim job, as I know a lot of people call him now, he he's a weird one. I think he's treating like Man United. He's treating Man United like he's still in the Portuguese league at the moment, going away with things like Boa Vista and all that, playing with just like them two in the midfield all on their own, having acres of pitch random. It just don't work. I don't think 3 at the back, mate. Like, this is why I didn't want Amorim at Liverpool, because I knew we haven't got the players. You'd have to change so much for him to do what he wants, to play this 3 at the back. And I argue with Man United fans as well, are really backing Amorim, and so like, oh, everyone plays 3 at the back. Usually, I went, yeah, Liverpool going a 3 at the back, and City can go 3 in the back in game, but you're actually starting with a 4. It's different. It's so different starting with a 4, going into that 3 and transitioning into attacks. You're literally starting with a 3. That it's not moving from there. You've got wing backs at the moment who are not wing backs. You're trying to use attacking players in certain areas that, and they can't defend. Your midfield area, you're leaving it so open and haven't got the legs. Kobe Mainu, talented player, but for a kid his age, he's the most unathletic kid I've ever seen in my life. He can't run. No. He literally can't run. So you're having people like him in the midfield. Casemiro, legs gone. You got Iron Man in the midfield as well, legs gone. You got so much there at Man United where you're playing this system, and he knows for a fact he hasn't got the players to do it, but he's going to continue with it. I think it's a mad one. I have no idea why Man United just think he've destroyed the job till the summer, and then get Amorim in the summer when he can buy his players. Even in the summer coming, they are going to need so many players. You got the vegan butcher. He's a terrible defender, is Martinez. Absolutely terrible. Maguire is their best centre-back right now. Tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
De Ligt is shocking. De Ligt can't turn. I've said this for a while now. I remember Liverpool fans going at me once on my channel saying, why weren't we in for De Ligt? I went, have you watched him? No. He had that period at Ajax as a kid where he was excellent. And he plays like he's 30. It's madness. And if he's going to continue playing like this way, and he's not going to go from his disbeliefs of what he wants to play, which I give him credit for, I'll give him that he's not going to. He can't do it either. The problem is if he goes away from it now and sets up 4 at the back and goes a bit more defensive, try and put a bit more defensive structure in the midfield, more legs and all that.
Yes.
People are going to call him like names and go like, well, you've bottled it already. You've done this. You've gone against your beliefs. Players are going to be like, why are you going against your beliefs now? Let's just keep going right this season off. So if he's going to play like this against Liverpool on Sunday, like he did against Newcastle, and just open up, fuck me, it could be embarrassing for United. Really, no, I'm going to respect United because of the team they are.
Yeah,
But if we don't beat this United team at home, then I just can't believe why Almarin's playing. But the crazy thing is, Nisroy is their best manager in 2024. Well, I think he won like 3 or 4 games in a row.
yeah,
Had the players happy, and Almarin's just come in. Xerxes got booed off after an hour. Like, can you imagine coming off the pitch and your own fans are booing you?
It was half an hour. It wasn't even an hour.
Half an hour. That's it. He just brought him off after half hour, not injured or anything. Tactical change. It's
Yeah,
because it's not Xerxes' fault that he was
no,
misprofiled. You know, he's misprofiled. He's not a striker. He's a number
yeah,
10. Yeah. And also, he's not got no athleticism whatsoever either. So he should be playing in the Premier League for me. He's a good footballer, but he's
yeah,
technical. He should be playing elsewhere. It's not his fault. And they're booing him. And how does he come back now? He's told Rashford where to go. He's basically lost his, Rashford's looking for a new career now. You got gender fluid in Garnacho playing right wing. You got, that's my nickname for him. You got, and you got, who else? Like, it's just, you got Ahmad is probably their best forward at the moment. It's just, it's a mess there, man. It's a mess. Almarin's walked into a mess. I think he's changed things too soon, too quickly. I honestly do. He's changed everything. This team are not used to playing 3-4-3.
no, that's spot on.
They got the players to play 3-4-3, but he's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
It's going to take a lot. I think they need 8 new players in the summer.
I agree. I think you're spot on with the Van Nistelrooy thing. I think they should have kept him on. It made more sense to do that because he wouldn't have changed the team dramatically. He would have kept a back four and then played a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 the way he wanted to play. Everyone knows Amorim's sort of philosophy, even we as Liverpool fans, because we did our research when we were linked with him before Arnold Stock was recruited, and we knew that was his style of play, playing 3-4-3, playing with traditional wing backs, which not every team doesn't have traditional wing backs. So it was always going to be a project signing where he's going to need, like you said, at least 8 players. It's a complete revamp, is what they need. You can't do that mid-season. That makes no sense whatsoever. So I think they should have kept on Vanish. I think you make a very valid point there because he would have provided a bit of stability. The players would have known him from the coaching staff anyway. The fans would have been, I think, satisfied with that because he's a legend. And kind of what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was there as well. They kept him on board, then they gave him the full contract. So yeah, obviously it's not our problem because it's not our club. But I think from a neutral point of view, they've made a mistake. And they're not going to back him, according to rumors. They don't have the finances due to the financial fair play to even back him in this
Wasted so
window.
much money. They
Yeah,
wasted so much money. You think the players they spent in the last 12 months?
yeah.
I mean, who thought of buying Hoyland? I mean, to be honest, whoever came up with that on their market and their data should be shot. I'm not being like they really should. Whoever went to someone and went, this Hoyland guy at Atlanta, he's the one. Go and get him. 70 odd million. This guy cost you. Someone should have looked at him and got. They should have slapped him as soon as he said it. Like Isaac was £10 million cheaper than Newcastle. No,
That's crazy.
United have wasted so much money. I have never seen when Liverpool were at their bad in the 90s and stuff like that. They were never this bad.
No,
We were never this bad.
Players. We had to get like Deadwood right to get into our squad, but these guys have just spent bucket loads of money on just reputation. I think not actual players that they need or that fits their system.
YouTube players. That's what they went for. They saw Anthony on YouTube clips and went, "Oh, he's a player. Spend 80 million on him." It's just like it don't. Like they've done it to themselves. And the longer they do it, the better it is for everyone, in my opinion. And I don't see it getting any better for them for the years to come. To be honest.
No, I definitely don't. I don't as well. So yeah, that's the United position right now. What I'll do now, I'll present the team news and let's see who's available for this fixture. So in terms of Liverpool, Joe Gomez picked up an injury, unfortunately, against West Ham, is unavailable. So Arsenal has a big decision in terms of who he starts alongside Van Dijk. Jamie, did you mention Konate might be available for this one, or
I,
what are we hearing regarding Konate?
so I believe Slot said in his last press conference, he said that Kanate wouldn't be available for the West Ham game, but he's hoping he's available for Man United. That's what he said in his last press conference. Obviously, we'll hear more from them tomorrow. They've had
Tomorrow.
days. They've had 2 days off, ain't they? That's why there's been
Yeah.
no training videos because
Yes.
they've had 2 days off. Slot apparently likes giving them a couple of days off here and now, and this is the
Okay.
first time he's done it this season. I think Trent was in Venice yesterday, weren't he? So the players have had
Yeah.
they've had little breaks. So there's been no training video. That's why we're into Friday and there's no training footage. So we're here tomorrow. If Kanate is available, I think he plays. You know,
Okay.
I think if he's available, he plays.
Mm.
I don't. I don't think Klopp completely rates the. Oh God, no, it's gone right in my head. What's his name again? Kwanzaa. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think Klopp completely rates him like that. So Kanate is available. Kanate will play. There could be a chance that Endo plays alongside Van Dijk.
Yeah, I think Endo would be the more if Konate is not available. I think he trusts Endo more, just based on what he presented against Southampton. So I think that would make more sense.
Oh, by the way, hang on. For everyone's stuff, I see everyone putting names in the chat that shit players we bought, and you're all right, but we're still better in this Man United team.
We really
You're
are.
all right.
We really
They're
are.
terrible players, and we're still better in this Man United team.
It's true. It's true. Uh, Bradley, from what I know, there hasn't been any further news regarding his injury. He's still sidelined,
So
isn't
I
he?
believe Paul Joyce said he'd be back in January, so any time this month.
Anytime this month. So I think,
Just going
from
with
what
this
we
route.
know, he might not be available for this one. So we'll leave it at that. And then Chiesa is believed to be available. So we'll see if he gets selected for the squad. In terms of Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes returns to the squad after being suspended against Newcastle. Lindelof, Luke Shaw, and Mason Mount remain on the sideline. So
Oh,
what we'll do now is we will we will present the graphic and we'll predict the lineup. So we'll start with United because I think that'll be quicker for us to do, and then we can have a stronger debate or discussion with regards to Liverpool. So 3-4-2-1, that is the formation that Amrin loves to deploy and is not budging. He's sticking to this formation. So
man.
in terms of the lineup, obviously Onana is in goal, which for me is a treat because hopefully we can, really exploit his.
He's a weird goalkeeper, isn't he? He's a
He
weird.
is a bit. He brings some good saves and then he does few blunders as well at the same
He can
time.
look.
So
He can look amazing for an hour, and then he'll
yeah,
let 2 in. You know, he's just weird.
he's a weird one. The back three. So he hasn't played much. I have a feeling they might play Euro. I don't know why, but I feel like they could play Euro in this one.
What? Because of the pace of Liverpool's attack.
Yeah, because none of the other defenders have. Well, to be fair, a lot of the players don't have pace in his team, but maybe he's the one that can, try and accommodate
Well,
his partner alongside him.
they need a midfielder that can step out and press. And Euro's probably the only one, but it's not really his game.
No,
Yeah,
it's not his game. No.
I think the only guaranteed centre back to start right now is Maguire, which is mad.
So we'll put Maguire in the middle. Who would you say would be left side? Would it be the left?
Martinez, probably. I think Martinez might
Oh
play.
yes, the
Yeah,
vegan butcher. There we go.
and he's been terrible, but I don't think they got a choice.
No, they don't have a choice. Should we go with Euro or Delete on the right side?
If they play Delete up against Gakpo and Diaz, Jesus Christ, it's going to get destroyed. That's why I think I'm going to go. I think you might be right with Euro.
Yeah, I think just because he's a youthful defender and they need legs in that back line, so I think that would be who they go for. In terms of the right side, it'd probably be Mazurai, I think. I know he's not had the best of games in recent weeks, but
Yeah, he's
he's
arguably been their most successful transfer for a while.
And on the left side, Luke Shaw's not available. I saw Malacia was on the bench the other day, but I don't think he's ready for first team football. So Dallo would be the guy on the left, would you say as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
And
Jesus.
in midfield, they had Casemiro and Ericsson, which is probably the worst double pivot you could have.
That's all they got in it, though. I mean,
Yeah,
the Casemiro made them mistakes last time, didn't he?
yeah. What about
Um,
Manu? Do you think Manu gets a shout or Ugarte?
I think it'd be Ugarte and I think it'd be Casemiro and Ugarte in the central area.
Damn it.
They got to try and shore it up.
We need to make sure we're running right in that
I
middle
mean,
of the park.
this has got 0 legs.
It's 0 legs there. If we don't
0.
get 3 points, honestly, I'll
That's
be
a
very, very annoyed.
that's a terrible 4.
That is, isn't it?
Wow.
And the advanced two, I think it's probably safe to just say Diallo on the right
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
If
Mohamed Delalo, if he's there.
he's there we go.
There he is.
And got Bruno Fernandes. I think they already have much option. What do you make of this whole Rashford thing being omitted from the squad?
I think he's actually the right choice because Rashford looks done.
Yeah.
I don't think he was happy if Rashford going to that basketball game. A couple of days before training or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Rashford. I think Rashford don't look like
goal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's got his priorities in order at the moment, Rashford.
Yeah.
I think he needs to lead the football club.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do they play up there? Obviously got Garnacho, but he's
been terrible.
He's been out with Rashford, ain't he? He's taking him and Rashford out.
Yeah.
So.
Zatsky, but obviously he got taken off the other day, so I don't think he's in
I don't see that.
contention.
So he needs pace in his forward area, though.
Yeah.
Højlund, the last time he played, no, that's what Ten Hag did, wasn't it? He played Fernandes as the false 9.
Yeah.
He's got to play Højlund, yeah. It'll be Højlund. I don't think they got a choice right now.
No.
So yeah, it'll be Højlund, Fernandes. Oh, gee, this guys, this is what I say: money don't always buy happiness.
That's proof right there. Because go player for player, you know how much they've spent on them. So money doesn't guarantee success. And Manchester
Wow.
United.
Bruno Fernandes' best season was when there was no fans.
Yeah, that's when he first joined, isn't it? It was his.
Yeah. That January to the January, that year's fan, he was excellent.
Yeah.
Since then,
Yeah.
there is no pace in that team whatsoever. Wow.
I don't fear this team one bit.
Because you know the way he's going to play. He plays it attacking. So Mazraoui and Dawa, they're going to be up high, and they're going to leave Ugarte and Casemiro all on their own.
Yeah,
they're going
to end up being like this.
Yeah, they're going to just them two in the midfield just have to run.
Yeah, they can't do it. They can't do it. So
that's just mad. That's just absolutely. So Van Dijk has got to look after Højlund. Not difficult, is it? I think Ahmed Delalo will be the only player. He's a threat.
Only player.
I think he's a very good footballer, very tidy little footballer, good on the counter attack, good in transition. He'll be the one, but I don't see any other. That's terrible, man.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Let's move on to Liverpool. Obviously, Alisson in goal. No debates there. Trent at right back. And in terms of centre back, should we go on the basis that Konate is available and we put him in? How likely do you think he will start in this game?
If Slot tomorrow says he's available, I think he plays. If he's not available, I think it'd be Kwanzaa. So let's go Kwanzaa on the safe side.
So, alongside will be Van Dijk.
I don't think it matters who plays next to Van Dijk, to be fair. You gotta be all right.
Yeah. I think go for Robertson. So
yeah, I think Robbo. Look, I know Robbo had that. A lot of goals we conceded are not all down to Robbo, but he is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Apart from that 30-second madness at the beginning of the West Ham game, I thought he had a decent game against West Ham.
Yeah.
I think offensively, again, I've always got our problem with this left-hand side. I don't think Tsimikas is good enough to be gone right. He just takes Robbo's spot and Robbo never gets back in. I don't think Tsimikas is at that level. And I don't think Slot sees it either. And that's why Robbo keeps playing. So, yeah. I think Robbo will play.
Yeah, that's fair. And in terms of double pivot, obviously we have to go for Gravenberch.
Gravenberch.
Definitely. Who plays in the number 10 role?
I think Szoboszlai are coming for this game.
Yeah, I agree.
He missed the West Ham game, so he'd be nice and rested.
Yeah, nice and rested. Yeah. Salah on the right.
Yeah.
Who would you play on the left?
Gakpo. I think Cody will play that. He's in the form of his life right now.
He is.
And I think because Maguire's played in that DM in that central defensive position, I think they'll play Diaz as the false 9. Yeah, that'd be the 11. Get the pace of freshness of that team in comparison.
Look at that. Yeah, that's literally what I'm visioning in my head right now.
That 4, Salah, Szoboszlai, Gakpo, Diaz. That's just stamina, speed, athleticism.
It's too much.
And then you just got them 2 behind you. Gravenberch, the DM, McAllister, the controller. Yeah, that's different, man. That's different.
Okay, so that is our predicted lineups. Now we'll move on to the score predictions. So I'll let you take the floor first. What scoreline are you predicting?
6-0.
6-0.
I've got a feeling we're just. I don't think Slot's going to pay the occasion, so to speak. I think Slot's going to see them as a completely weak side who are getting smashed about at the moment. He would have studied the Newcastle game the other day. We know tactically he's a studier of games, Slot. And he will feel the way his forwards are playing right now. I don't think West Ham are any much better than Man United right now. So I think we're tearing them apart. I think it could be even Man United fans, listening to Man United fans today going, this could be anything. So I'm going for another 5 or 6-0. I think it'd be a battering. I think we're just going to go. I think we're going to smell blood. And tell me how you keep that team quiet, man, from scoring
That's
goals.
The thing.
The only team that's done it's Nottingham Forest, and Slot has learnt since then. And don't forget, Slot has got a picture of Nottingham Forest in his door, ready for a few weeks' time. He wants revenge in a big way. So, I think it's going to be a hiding. I think it's going to be. I don't. As soon as United concede 1 goal, their heads just drop. All the players, they just come. If United can stay in the game, if it's 0-0 after half hour, I think United might feel good about themselves. If you can get a goal in that first 10 or 15 minutes, their heads will completely drop. Completely drop. They won't press. They won't close down. And Liverpool will just pick them apart.
No, I agree with you. Do you know what's funny? I did a Premier League review show yesterday. I feel like I was being too modest. I predicted 3-0, but I have to change that because I don't think I pictured their lineup until we just did the predicted lineups now. And there's so many weaknesses in their team. There's the only player that is a shining light is Diallo. Other than that, there's no one for me that really, in my opinion, causes us any issues.
Out of a guy, that's why I think Szoboszlai plays this game through his running power.
Yeah, running right against
Casemiro and Ugarte. Who's going to keep up Szoboszlai?
No one.
Running power. None of them.
They can tag team. They're still on game. So
and then Salah and Gakpo, I think, will just keep the width.
Yeah.
Keep the it's gonna be scary.
McAllister just pinging the balls forward. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for United. I'm going to up my prediction. I'm going to go for 5-0. I think it's going to be an easy 5-0 as well. It's not even going to be where I don't even think we'll go into like the second or third gear. I feel like it's going to be that kind of game now. Just looking at the team lineups, I don't think they'll cause us any. It's at Anfield as well, so let's not forget that.
I know. Look, I know United fans are talking about, it could be like we played against City. City are dog shit. It's not the same right now. And it took you to the last minute to basically win the game.
Yeah.
City. And it's not going to be the same. You're not going to sit back. Amorim's got one way of playing. He's going to play exactly the same way he did against Newcastle, against us. It's his way. He's not going to change it. And I think the way we're playing at the moment, Slot said you won't see the real Slot Liverpool till around January time. And over the Christmas period, I've just seen the way we started to play, starting to ping the ball, the way we're starting to move, more freedom. Everyone looks healthy. Yeah, I just think we're going to pick them apart.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like you said, they're going to play one way, and I feel like we're just going to exploit that. And it's at Anfield, so I feel like the crowd will literally be on our side as well, and I feel like it's going to be too much for them. It really will be. So I'm expecting a high scoreline. It would be better if we can surpass that 7-0. That would be beautiful. But yeah, if we don't win this, then I'm going to be absolutely peed off if we don't win this game.
Oh, it's embarrassing if you ask me if we don't win this
Yeah,
game. I think it comes
yeah,
down to that. Comes down to a bit of embarrassment.
it really
You know,
is.
like Spurs. You know, you'd argue Spurs and Man United have got a very similar team right now. Spurs are probably better more offensively
But
than
yeah,
Man United are, but defensively they're quite equal. And we
yeah,
put 6 past Spurs, so was that in their own
easily.
ground as well. So yeah, I just see us scoring goals.
No.
Take Man United out the name. If you
Mm,
took Man United out the name, you looked at their league position and the way they're playing,
yeah.
no one would be going, "Oh, I'm a bit worried, maybe a 2-0."
Yeah,
It's just because Man United's the name.
yeah,
You confuse yourself about, oh, it is
yeah.
Man United. The shit. So yes, 5-0, man.
See how it is. No, I love it. I love it. Um, we'll quickly go through the comments and then yeah, we can close the show. So, Alex Zander says, big up yourself, Alexander. He says, yeah, FSG are not ambitious. True. There's a lot of comments, guys, so I might skip through them. So apologies if I don't read your comment out. Um, oh yeah, so this is what you were referring to earlier, Jamie. So Suso, Luis Alberto. So these were the players.
Who's Alberto's a baller, by the way. He's a good player.
Yeah, Suso was not bad too. He just didn't really get his opportunity. Fozzie, we got Fozzie he's saying Takumi Minamino. I liked Minamino to be fair. I didn't think it was
I
that
like
bad.
Taki. I don't know why. I don't know what Liverpool should have kept Taki. I think Endo's now what Taki is.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not saying it because they're both Japanese, but that
yeah,
player who's part of the squad that can come
yeah.
in certain games
It
and
makes
give
an
little
impact as well
people a
when he
rest.
comes on.
Yeah, make an impact. Yeah, I love
I
Endo.
agree.
Endo's my guy, man.
I agree. Dustin says, I think Dumfries. I don't think Dumfries suited to the way we play. He's
He's
a
a win.
wing back.
He's a win back, ain't he? Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
really a fullback.
don't think he's the right one. Fozzie says, yes, bro, awesome show. Like and subscribe. Big up yourself, Fozzie, and please like and subscribe to his channel as well. Um, so, Fozzie says, sorry, I'm late. I just woke up. No worries at all. We can catch up later on. Um, so it's sad how these contract stuff is taking away the limelight away from our brilliant season. It is like Jamie
Unfortunately,
mentioned earlier on when we beat West Ham, and Salah had that comment about his contract. It took away such a great performance last weekend. So yeah, it is like a dark cloud right now in terms of what we're doing. That's the big topic. Whereas people aren't talking about how well we're doing on the pitch right now, in my opinion. Not enough. So yeah, it's quite disappointing.
oh, hang on.
But
Do you want to hear this quote from Mo Salah about Slot for a sec?
go for it.
Fabrizio just put it out. So Mo Salah said, before I worked with Arne Slot, I didn't expect he was this good. Then we started working, and I'm not surprised at all. He's great with details, great with small things, doesn't have an ego when he makes a mistake. He's got great tactics.
Someone that likes the football
Well,
right now, isn't it? So
Mo's
can't argue
loving
with that.
life,
Yeah,
loving
they love
Slot.
life. And
Who ain't
Trent
loving
says this
Slot?
in the comments as well, because Trent's mentioned that, Arnold Slott's really focused on his one-on-one duels in terms of from a defensive point of view, and it's actually helped his game a little bit more. So
Yeah,
they're loving life
what
in the sport.
the players didn't know him. He was an unknown commodity,
Neither did we. Neither did we. Yeah.
and now it's taken months into the season. They work with him every day. They're like, this man's top draw. This man's
Yeah,
top
he
draw.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah. We struck goals with Arnold Slot, that's for sure. Darcy Bradley's quality, but I also want Robertson. They hate us because they ain't us. That is the statement right there. It's
that's
facts.
what Steve asked what all the
Um,
words were. There you go.
we've got a comment here from Psychedelic Scientist. It says, big up. Do you think Madrid could potentially move Trent to midfield when Carvajal returns with
Nah,
Modric
nah.
approaching?
I don't think Trent's got the awareness to be a midfielder.
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
they've
he's
got
got the
too many
awareness.
good midfielders to even transition a player. They've got Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Valverde. They've
They're
got
all better midfielders than Trent would ever
yeah.
be.
So
So yeah,
I think like you mentioned earlier on, Jamie, because he's like a unicorn of a player. The assist that he's going to provide for the likes of Vinicius and Mbappe, that's why they're going out for him because there's no one out there in world football that could produce passes from such deep positions and then one pass away and you've got a goal. So that's why they are banging on our doors and trying to get Trent to Madrid. Um, If Trent leaves, we could use Trent's 180k wages to increase Salah and Van Dijk wages by 90k. I don't want to look at it that way. I feel like all three should be signing contract extensions. We've got the money to do that. So I don't want it to be where we have to let go of one to accommodate two others. We have, from what I believe, enough finances to sign all three on
Yeah,
new
yeah.
contracts. So
And I think a little bump in Salah, 50 grand for 400k is perfectly easy to do.
Ravi says, Ozzie, Jamie, we have to put United in the Kenwood food blender, don't we? Yeah, we do. We have to.
Certainly do, man.
We
Certainly do.
Certainly do.
And it's a big game because you obviously Arsenal played Brighton before us on the Saturday. And Arsenal, if they win that, they'll be 3 points behind. Obviously, we'll have 2 games in hand. But if you beat Man United and then go 6 points with a game in hand again, it just puts more pressure on Arsenal every single week. And that pressure will start to affect them. So, yeah, definitely.
I agree. Ravi says, question, Bob, how do we stop getting burnt out? Should rotate the squad a little bit more.
I think Slot's using him quite well at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't play League Cup games. And there was a period in December, I think he had a couple of games off, like McAllister did as well, because we had League Cup stuff like that, where he could rotate him. Again, the thing is, we've got no other player like him at the moment. He's playing so well. I think it is hard to rotate him, even if he had the player in right now.
Yeah.
It's something Slot's got to look at in the next few weeks. I do think he's going to have to maybe give Taro a game here or there, give Gravenberch a bit of a rest. But yeah, I think it's all right, though. It's all right. He's only 22. He's not going to burn.
No, that's true. Exactly. This is probably what he wanted anyway, to play week in, week out. Ravi saying, Ozzie, we will go in for Hato. Hato is a player, Jamie, that I've been voicing. A player I feel like we'll definitely should be looking into. So if that happens, I would certainly be very pleased about that. And Double D says, get Hato. Yeah, I think a lot of fans are, on
he's
that same wavelength now.
Big player out of Ajax, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a quality player. Steve says, Ozzie, Jamie up front in the FA Cup. Cheeky comment there.
All right, I'm too old now. I wish I could. Too old now.
Jason, big up Jason, said we need to keep all our play as who know FSG when spent out.
I love FSG just to wake up one day and go, you see all these comments, here's 200 million, go nuts. You know what I mean? Just one summer, it'd be hilarious.
Who else do we have? We have OZWRLD. Yes, he plays centre back. He says, why are some athletes just so injury prone? Chiesa, Aquilani, Sturridge. It's because of the intensity that the game is played. Yeah, it's very hard for some players to manage these type of games.
You look at Mo, Touchwood. You look at Mo's whole career; he's never had really injury problems. Even at Lazio, Fiorentina, Roma. It is. Did I say Lazio? Then I meant Fiorentina and Roma. It's just genetics. It's genetic makeup. But R9 is one of the greatest strikers of all time. Unfortunately, he had, it wasn't just his knee. He had that thyroid issue as well. Did it? Genetics, man. It's just genetics. So, like Sturridge, fabulous player, could be world class on his day, but just his body let him down.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Jamie. Fozzie says, calm everyone, we are all entitled to our opinion. Respect, man. 100% Fozzie. I always try to preach on my shows. Please keep it civil and please make sure you respect each other in the chat. Russell said, big up Russell. Thank you for tuning in. And Abdul Rahim says, everyone has an opinion, respect each other. Yeah, definitely agree. Mr. Link says, I am late. LOL. No problem at all. And then we have Alexander who says, Amram is so stubborn. He thinks his ideas are everything. Yeah, I think United fans are going to find out very shortly. His philosophy, being a butcher. That's what they call him now. That's what they call him on the streets. Someone's brought Hoyland, the WWE wrestler.
He's terrible, man. I prefer, if I had to choose between Hoyland and Darwin, I'm keeping Darwin over Hoyland every day of the week. At least he can run.
It's so true. Liverpool 67 said, Jamie, just subscribe. Big up yourself. Liverpool
Big up,
67, appreciate you
man. Big
subscribing.
up, man.
Register has said, oh, hash doof. Yeah.
Yeah, look, we did have terrible players. I ain't gonna lie, but apart from the Roy Hodgson years, I don't think we was ever this bad.
Paul Konchesky, Griffiths, he wasn't too bad. He was
Yeah,
a, he was a over, didn't he?
these are Roy transfers. Ignore them. These are Roy transfers. Charlie Adam was actually quite good at Blackpool, and that's why we went in for him, wasn't it? It just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, he
David
looked
Ngog,
sensational for Blackpool, didn't he? The way he was
Yeah,
pinging balls around. Yeah.
he looked great. Oh, David Ngog. He'll always be remembered for his match winner against United.
Yeah, it's so true. Osama Saidi, I remember him. Brendan Rodgers signing there. Um,
Before we had a transfer committee, and Rodgers was just buying any shit.
yeah, he was by anyone.
That's why we have a transfer committee now. It's down to Rodgers. Because everyone forgets when FSG first joined, they were spending shitloads of money.
They were.
But we had people in charge that didn't know how to spend money, and we just bought trash. And after that, they're like, "No, we can't be doing this no more. Let's put a committee together."
So true. Ravi said, if Martinez plays, it's going to be long. The worst but just since Fred Elliott on Corey.
They got Fred Elliott. I say.
Alexander says, Kwanzaa got to grab his chance. Yeah, he does. He does. Hopefully, yeah. I feel like some of the criticism is a bit too much, but he's a young player still learning his trade. He's going to make mistakes. This is part of the, part and parcel of being a young centre back. 9-0, Alexander's going for. Yeah,
there is something in Kwanzaa's game that I do like. I think he's good on the ball. He's calm on the ball. He's got a good pass to him. He can actually run into midfield, bring the ball into midfield. He's just a young guy.
Yeah.
He's got to learn his game, but unfortunately, he's learning that game at the highest level in football.
Yeah.
Where mistakes are going to get more highlight, and if he was somewhere else. Simple as that.
It's going to get magnified to a different level. So no, definitely agree with that one. And then a comment here from Liverpool 67 says, I don't see if she can afford to give Trent more money and keep all three, because Van Dijk won't accept Trent gets more money than him. Can't afford to let go. Van Dijk, in my opinion, one out of the Tuesday. I hope that's not the case. I don't think that is the way it would work.
Yeah, I don't think our players are like that, because no one's moaned what Salah's on, are they?
Yeah.
No one, like Virgil could have moaned years ago about what Salah was on. And
yeah,
I feel like they just want to be paid well. I think they'll all get a bump in wages. Trent will get the biggest bump because Trent's on lesser money than them two already. So his bump will be more. I think Salah will go up to 400k, and I think Virgil will go to about 270, and Trent will go to 250. I think that's the way it'll work.
Yeah, I think that's how it'll work as well. And the final comment here is from Songs FK. Big up yourselves. The Kwanzaa has liberal characteristics, just needs to cut out risks. Yeah, but he's a young centre back. He's going to try and do certain things to see how far he can go. And look, young centre backs, they're always going to make mistakes. Doesn't matter who they are, they'll always make some mistakes in some shape or form. But the good thing is he's alongside Van Dijk, who can, teach him the ways and try and nurture him in terms of playing the game at a certain level. So he's got the right people, the right mentors alongside him to really learn off and hopefully become a top defender one day. So yeah, let's see how that goes for Kwanzaa. Let's see if he plays in this game. But that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the comments. Appreciate it always. And obviously, of course, Jamie, big up yourself for coming on the channel. First time as well. Really appreciate your time. Over 2 hours, 19 minutes today. So please, guys, make sure you subscribe to Jamie's channel. Jamie, the floor is yours, my friend. Let everyone know what you've got going on. Please plug your channel and your social accounts.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. I really, really, really enjoyed this. As I said, we've been trying to do stuff for a while now, and glad I got on and done some. I'll get you on my show next as well. We'll do even more. Yeah, guys. So if you want to, obviously on Twitter, I think most of you know where I am on YouTube, but on Twitter it's Chats Jamie FC. You can catch me over there on Twitter. Probably getting slagged off because I don't always say FSG out in every tweet. Yeah, and obviously I think most of you know my YouTube channel, Jamie Phillips Football Chat. So yeah, you can check me out over there. Probably got something coming out tomorrow. Preview the Man United game. Have a look at that. Might have some guests on, see what happens. Any breaking news that's going on, we'll talk about as well. But yeah, appreciate it, man. Really do.
No, no, appreciate you coming on. And please, guys, as I've said a few times now, please subscribe to Jamie's channel. He's been a great support of myself and Football Talk podcast. So it's only right that we show our support, and hopefully we'll get Jamie on the channel again at some point this season. In terms of Football Talk podcast, I plan to do a transfer talk show. I'm sure there'll be a lot to discuss tomorrow, Liverpool related as well as the Premier League. I'll also be doing a live watch along on Sunday for this game, followed up with a match reaction. So Dara mentioned on about coming on the show. It is a calling show, so if you'd like to come on and have your say, a link will be available for you guys. So you're welcome to come on and have your say. And also, just a small plug. I've relaunched a clothing brand called OZWRLD, and I've got a new collection. As you can see on the right side of the screen, I've got a couple of Liverpool designs. I've got one referring to Mohamed Salah and also referencing Arne Slot. So please make sure to check it out. The website is ozworld.co.uk, or if you're tech savvy, you can feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and it'll take you directly to the website with a blink of an eye. So that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.